And I need you. And I miss you. And now I wonder. Yo, what's good? What's good? Welcome. Welcome back, y'all. Happy Wednesday. We in this thing, baby. What y'all got going on? Did you miss me? A bit twisted? What got a bit twisted? Work? That's what's up. I just started, Teresa. Just jumped on this mug. Hump day? That's right. Been acting up all morning? What happened? What y'all been doing? Where were you yesterday? I was like a crackhead looking for you. I was where was I yesterday? I was at the house. Having fun in Discord. That's what's up. I'm glad. I'm happy. Happy to hear it. Couldn't have happened to a better group of people. You know what I'm saying? I was on for a minute when those feminism in quotation marks. Tell me about it, Sparky Nicks. What are the tenets of feminism? Can you explain them to me? Maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe I don't know. Because I don't know how they could be would you have a minute to educate us on what the tenets of feminism are? I would be very curious to know. You tell me. Mm-hmm. Oh. Well, I don't know what to tell you. If you can't tell me, if you can't articulate it, you know what I'm saying? Ootly, what's good? I'm doing great. Hold on, brother. Let me make sure we all can hear you because I can barely hear you right now. Maybe my phone's low. Yeah, it was low. Okay, go ahead, brother. I'm listening.
Yeah, gotcha. I just wanted to ask. So you have male expression is healthy on the feminist side. Then you have men cannot be vulnerable on your red pill side. Which one do you align yourself with?
Why?
Because in my eyes, I think male expression is healthy.
Yeah, me too.
All right, that's what I wanted to ask. Because I see this a lot from guys, and it's so odd when we as men cannot see emotions as something healthy.
Yeah, I agree. That's they don't let us. Men don't let other men express themselves, and then they try to like cry and complain and act like oh, the world is so hard on us, and I'm like, it's us. We're the world. We're the people you're talking about that makes it so hard for men to be men. You know what I'm saying?
Because you'll hear them out and you'll say that we run society, and then get upset when society dictates that we cannot do these things.
Yeah, and they act like it's a problem. They act like they care that we can't do the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, you don't want to express yourself in a healthy way. You know what I mean?
They'll go out, they'll say things like, we need to be more respected. I was like, you know, be more vulnerable? No, we can't do that. We can't do that. got to be another way. It's got to be, the answers are right in front of your face. You just have to go out.
It's you. You're the answer. You're the antidote to your own, you know what I mean? Like, you're the reason why it's happening. So it's it's interesting. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming up though, brother.
All right, good to see you, man.
All right. Apex Predator, you are more than welcome to come up. I muted your boy, but I invited him up before I muted him. I love to have the conversation with you guys. If you guys would like to come up, if you have your things cut off that where I can't invite you up, I'm just automatically going to mute you from the live. And don't get it twisted. It's the opposite of what you think. When I mute you, it's because you actually don't have anything you want to add to the conversation. You just want to be antagonistic, and I'm not stupid. Like, I want to hear you talk. I want your voice to be heard in front of everybody instead of just in the comments, because we're running this on YouTube as well. So come up. They don't know what you're saying. I'm not about to read your comments. If you have something to say it with your chest, say it up here in front of everybody so we can talk about it. So I know you guys like to do you just wanted it to be a echo chair. I don't. Actually, the opposite. I actually want it to be people exchanging ideas. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to just say problematic shit in the comments, and then when I invite you up, you say, "Oh, I'm at work," or da 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 da. No, if you could tap, you could yap. It takes more effort and energy to tap than it does to yap. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, here we are. You better, if you at work, step outside and take a 10. Tell them you'll be back. Tell them you'll be back at 10. Because if you got time to tap again, that must mean if you're listening to me and you got time to tap, then you got time to step outside and take a little break. Come talk to us. But that's where we're at. Pumpkin cake? Never heard of it. Pumpkin pie, yes, which is decent. Pumpkin cake, absolutely. But yeah, exactly what my man said. I forgot what his name was already. Uti. Yeah, men complain about the things, and then men complain about the things, and then act like they don't have any say-so in it, but really it's us that are perpetuating it against ourselves. So, I mean, like, you can't really, like men telling other men they can't be vulnerable, and then crying about men not being able to be vulnerable, or then crying about men unaliving themselves or whatever, having a high self-deletion rate. You can't have it both ways. You can't tell men, right, openly in the chat, Ox, you're definitely getting muted. You can come up if you want to and get unmuted. You definitely cannot get on the internet and publicly say, men can never be happy. Men can never be nice. Men can never show weakness. Men can never be vulnerable. And then turn around and try to weaponize male self-deletion rates. Like in it. Teddy, stop. Teddy, stop. Stop it. And then try to weaponize self-deletion rates and be like, like, oh, you guys don't care about what about going to the draft? What about us getting drafted? You guys don't have to worry about that stress. I'm like, nigga, you are 47. You are not getting drafted. You're not, you're okay, you're safe. You're 30, you're 30 years old. You're not getting drafted. It be motherfuckers with hair as gray as mine talking about the draft. I'm like, what? You got asthma and you got flat feet. You're good. You're okay, brother. Ox was good.
Hey, what's up, man? I just don't think feminism is needed.
What is feminism?
I would say it's a European ideology that seeks to empower women.
Be more specific. It's not a European ideology, but go ahead. It doesn't matter. And also, wait. Also, I don't care where it came from. But what is feminism?
I just told you.
You didn't.
It seeks
What?
to empower. It's like a group,
What?
a social group that
Hold
seeks
on.
to empower women.
Hold on. What is the definition of it, sir?
It's a social group. Or
It's
some
not.
sort of like social
What
change.
is the definition of feminism?
It seeks to empower women.
No, sir. That's wrong.
Okay,
not it.
Okay, so what's the definition, man? Clearly, I don't know what it is.
Okay. So why? Okay. So right there, why are you talking about something that you don't know about?
No, because you're go ahead and give the definition.
Yeah.
It's different from mine.
It is different.
Yeah, what's the definition? The
definition of feminism is an ideology that the ideology basically believes that or teaches that there should be equity between all people. Men, women, children, black, white, don't matter. All people deserve equity. It's not about women empowerment. It's not about women empowerment because feminism is really, really good for men. It's like really good. And men knew this back in the day. Like there was actually men movements, feminist movements started by men that really understood what feminism was and they really pushed it. And they were like, this is the cure to masculinity and this is the cure to capitalism. And men really bought into it as a political movement because it is. And they started to push it and then it got fractured and it got distorted and it got bastardized, right? And people took it and did what they wanted to do with it. But the definition of it and the ideology never changed. It still is what it is.
Yeah, I don't think that was the original ideology.
That was the original ideology. You didn't know what it was 2 minutes ago.
No, I did know.
You didn't know what I asked you what the definition of feminism was, and you didn't know what the definition was. Don't try to lie now. You didn't.
It's a European ideology.
That's not it. Hey, it's not. That's not. Okay. Exactly? Where did it come from? Where did it come from?
It came
when?
From white women in Europe.
Where? When?
I mean when?
Yeah, when? What do I mean when? I would
say like prior to that of
prior to what?
The women's suffrage movement.
Prior to the women's suffrage movement? Okay, that's vague.
Like moments prior.
Moments prior. When? Where did the women's suffrage movement start?
I would say like before this. I would say before around the 30s.
No, you're dumb. No, you're dumb. You don't know what you're talking about. Just stop. You don't know what you're talking about. Women's suffrage started in America, and it started before the 1930s. It started in the 1800s, and they got it from black women in America, from black.
Feminism did not come from black women.
It did. It did. It did.
Oh, they did not.
It did. Feminism started from black, sir. It started. Hold on. Stop. You don't know what you're talking about right now. You don't get to argue with me. You don't know what you're talking about, right? Here's how it's going. Black women who were enslaved, they was like, we got to get free. But not only do we need to get free of white tea supremacy, we need to get free of these men because the men was also harming them too. Even their own men, like men were harming black women. All the men were harming black women. Black men, white men, they were like, we got to get free. So they were really about like, hey, like this shit, there's something going on here. We need to push back against this. And they started to push back against it. Now, white women also could identify with that because believe it or not, women had been railing against the patriarchy for years, for a millennia. There's many writings even before the 1800s of women talking about men and how they're mistreated by men and so on and so forth, right? And we all know the funny story that's not really so funny about like Aqua Tofana. What the fuck do you think that was? You act like women just woke up in the 1830s and was like, wait a minute, the world's kind of crazy for us. Like women knew what was going on, right? But if you're talking about modern feminism, right? That shit started with black women from the plantation. Then white women said, oh, I could agree to that. I agree. Our white men are doing us the same way. And then they linked up, right? And then the white women took the idea and furthered it, right? They made it more mainstream, I would say. And that's what happened. And then that's where women's suffrage came from. And that's where modern feminism came from, or whatever you want to say. Fine. But it started from black women. Like, let's be so fucking for real. And it started before the fucking 1900s. It's stupid.
You don't even know what you're talking about. The only reason why white women took it up is because they found out black men could vote for them. I don't know what you're talking about.
You just made that up.
I made that up?
Yeah.
You think black men had the ability to vote before white women? You didn't
What?
know that?
I knew that. I'm saying
Okay,
you
so-
didn't.
okay,
Hold
so
on.
what are you
The
talking
part you
about?
made up is they just took it up because black men got the vote before them.
I'm not saying
You
that's
just
the
made
sole
that up.
reason.
That's
I
just
never
what
said
you
the
just
sole
said,
reason.
though. That's
No,
just what you
I'm
just
not saying
said.
it's the sole reason. I'm saying they took it up because of that
Sir,
reason.
you don't know what you're talking about. But let's move on, because you don't know what feminism is. You don't know where it came from.
Bro.
Now,
Yeah, feminism is
earlier,
not needed
now,
anymore. What discrepancies are women going through in the West?
all
where
of them.
feminism is needed.
But hold on, wait. Here's the funniest thing. This, if you are reading, this is about men. This is how men are harmed by red pill ideology and misogyny. I'm saying, hold on, shut up. I'm saying this is how men are harmed. Now you want to derail the conversation and talk about how women are harmed, which is a whole nother topic that I don't care to get into in this moment, because I'm talking about men and the shit men go through. Don't you care about that?
Men need feminism, bro.
Read it.
Male expression is healthy. The character, like you can just do all of this without like being a feminist. I don't understand.
Can you do all of this without being a feminist? Absolutely. But feminism as an ideology pushes all of these things. And as an ideology, red pill espouses this shit. So feminism would be the antidote to red pill ideology. If you didn't know how to combat this stuff, you would need to know, hey, where do I go to combat this? How do I know where would I go to get the information to figure out how to combat this? You would learn feminist ideology. That's what I'm saying. So say, oh, you can do this. Yeah, you're right. You can individually. You can. But it's easier if you just follow the ideology.
Okay, that's fine. I just said it's not needed to do those things.
So you don't think it's hold on. You don't think it's healthy for men to figure out healthy ways of expressing themselves? You don't think that's needed?
I think it's neat.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go down the line. Yes or no? You think that's needed? Character.
Yeah, needed.
Okay. What do you think is more important? What is most important to you as an individual, right? Who a person is as an individual, their character, or their body count?
Their character.
Okay, cool. So this is needed. A person being as a man, would you rather be looked at as a provider, like a walking wallet, or would you rather be just have to be self-sufficient? What do you think is more healthy for you as a man?
Obviously being self-sufficient.
Okay, cool. Cooperation and equality. Do you think that that's better than people trying to make you submit and you competing with a bunch of other people? Or is it better for you to practice equity, right?
I think that depends. Depends on the industry that you're in.
What does the industry matter?
Say, for example, like I think it would depend. Like if you're like in some sort of business industry, I think that would be like
cooperation is better in business, sir. And I'm just talking in general. You don't need to.
Just talking about in the sense of like in a leadership role.
It doesn't even matter. You don't. Now it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because in general, which I'm saying, asking, are these ideas better than these ideas? That's all I'm saying. And you're agreeing with most of them. Okay, cool. So when you say that this isn't needed, you're lying. Of course, this is needed.
The ideology is not needed. The things pushed by the ideology is needed. The ideology itself is not needed. People don't need to be under some sort of like social group or some sort of ideology.
What is a social group? What social group are you talking about?
Well, feminists.
What is a feminist?
A follower of feminism. Hello?
Oh, yeah, I'm saying, but what group is that?
I mean, what group is that? It's a group that follows the ideology of feminism.
Hold on, wait. You saying that you can? This is how I know you're not really using your brain that well, because you're saying that you can compartmentalize all of these things, right? You just said you don't need the ideology. You can just choose to do all of these things individually. Cool. So if that is the case, then how can you not understand that being a feminist or adopting the ideals of feminism doesn't automatically make you a part of some social group? You know what I'm saying? Like you're not in a party, you're not a part of some clan. It's just the way, it's just a descriptive term to describe a person that believes in feminism. You're not a part of a group, though. That's the most loosest sense of being a feminist, is like the most loose group in the world. Like, what do you mean? I'm a feminist?
No, it's just a matter of just the label, right? I don't believe in like these like label things. Like obviously, right, labels lead to like groups, and groups lead to like mob mentality, and now people are not thinking for themselves, right? Which is like a lot of problems, right? I'm saying individually, as an individual, right? This is why I say you can do all these things without the label of being a feminist. I think the ideology that they're pushing is fine. I agree with them. I just don't agree with the label.
Look, I don't care about a label. And to hide behind that try to hide it behind the guise of like, I just don't like labels, is reductive at best. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's disingenuous though, because it's so much deeper than that. It's just a descriptive word. Like you know what I mean? Like, it's not everything is going to have a label. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a collective group of people believe the same thing, label them whatever the fuck. That doesn't change anything, no. The difference is how the red pill functions versus how feminists function. Because red pillars actually are a mob. Red pillars actually do get online and go into deep, dark corners, and even publicly sometimes, and say and do harmful things. Feminists don't. So you trying to compare the two in that way doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, we don't need those labels. Like, of course.
I don't agree with red pill ideology, bro.
Huh?
I don't even agree with red pill. I think both are unneeded. Right?
You do agree. Hold on, wait. To me, anybody that says that you don't agree with either, you agree with one. You agree with this one. If you say you don't agree with this one, you by default agree with this one. You can't say you don't agree with how? Because what do you believe in then? Are you a nihilist?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay. Which is what?
Nihilism?
No, I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, so nihilism just basically entails that you're said like, well, there's obviously the moral nihilism, but we're just going to say that it means that like life is just pointless. Well, there's two different types of nihilism, but the one I subscribe to is like life is just pointless. Things are just going to be futile. Right? Everything is just going to end anyways. So I do subscribe to like that form. Like, there's also different forms of nihilists. There are like people that believe that, well, although that is true, that things are going to just end anyways, like we should still find like pleasurable things in life, or like remain like productive or something like that.
That's not nihilism.
That is nihilism.
Okay.
like you can search up, what's his name? You can search up Nietzsche. Right?
Yeah.
Subscribe to more than like Nietzsche's nihilism.
I read Nietzsche. I think I have one of Nietzsche's books still. Certain aspects. So nihilism is a philosophical viewpoint that rejects certain aspects of existence, including the meaning of life, morality, and the possibility of objective knowledge. So that is in and of itself scary, that you don't like, you're saying you don't believe in objective knowledge.
Well, I think you're gonna have to be like very specific. I think objective knowledge exists, right? I just think, well, that's just in the context of morals. And obviously, I think like now, like obviously there's objective knowledge, but in context of morals, like no, I don't believe that exists. And if it does exist, we don't understand it. I think everything is just like subjective. We're just like projecting our feelings onto things.
No, we're not. I think that's you, but I think you're just projecting.
I mean, that's just like, I mean, if you think that's wrong, I mean, can you like empirically verify that murder is wrong?
Empirically verify that murder is wrong?
Yeah.
I can tell you that it's harmful. So yeah, I could say it's wrong.
You can tell, I mean, that doesn't say that it's wrong. It just says that it's harmful.
What makes something wrong?
I mean, that depends on your moral framework.
And this is what I be saying. Instead of y'all focusing on actual knowledge and information, you focus on like, what, are you rich or something like that? Are you really, really poor? Because that's the only, I swear to God, I couldn't imagine.
Do with my economic status.
I'll tell you, it's always connected to your economic status, or it should be. Because as a working class person, right? As a working class person, I don't understand. Like, if you are like dirt poor, you just like, it ain't like, I can never get out of this hole. You know, the world is, Cool. I can understand you being like talking this stupid ass shit. Also, if you're extremely rich and you just want to justify your wealth and just like not care about anybody, I can understand your logic. But if you're anywhere in between, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, you got to get up every day. You got to clock in. You got to get a job. You don't have to go to school. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, cool. And I don't understand how you would get online and be like, yeah, I mean, can you like objectively tell me that fucking murder is wrong? Like, yeah, dummy, it's wrong. Like, what are you talking about? It harms people.
That is just ad hoc. You're just saying it's wrong because it's wrong.
I just said why it's wrong, though. I said because it's harmful.
It's harmful. That's like, why is now just begs the question, why is something that's harmful wrong? And is it always wrong? Hey, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Do you think this is intelligence, what you're exhibiting right now? I'm not even joking.
Absolutely, yeah.
You think this is smart?
You just think that because like the way I'm like describing my worldview is because of like my economic status. No, it could just be like my personal experiences that I've like encountered throughout the world. It's nothing to do with my economic status. It might play a part, but no.
I'm just trying to figure out, do you think this is intelligent? That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
what?
It is intelligent.
Like, what about this is intelligent? How does this help you? That's what I want to know. How does this worldview? Yes. How does having this worldview, right? This pseudo intellectual worldview, how does this help you?
How is it pseudo intellectual?
Because it's not intellectual. It's not deep. It's dumb.
How is it not deep? It's not deep because you don't like it.
No. I don't like a lot of stuff, and I can think it's deep. But what you're saying isn't deep. It's not a matter of me liking it. It's not my preference. I don't give a fuck. What you're saying is surface level. You don't even know what you're talking about. Like, you're just saying stuff. You're like, oh, what makes it? Like, you're just asking questions and acting like, that's what I'm saying. Asking questions to no end. Like, you don't have anywhere to go with it. You see what I'm saying? You're just asking the question, right? Like, is God real? And I'm like, no, God isn't real. Well, how do you know God isn't real? Like, it doesn't, that's not an intelligent conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, just saying like murder isn't, how do you know murder is harmful? Tell that to the people that have been murdered or people that people have attempted to murder. It's harmful. They say it's harmful.
So using questions to push the bounds of logic.
No, the way you're, no. The way you're trying to do it isn't helpful. I'm cool with it in general, in a different context. Yeah, that makes sense. But in this context, absolutely not. It doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. I'm okay with you asking questions, but you got to ask the right questions.
Okay, what are the right questions, man? Clearly, there's a right and wrong question. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, if you want to have an intelligent conversation. I mean, there's different types of right questions, but I'm saying you don't know any of them. You're not asking any questions. And also, I know you're full of shit because you said in the comments, I disagree with both of these. You said, I don't think either is needed, but you instantly started attacking feminism.
Because of the label.
And then what? Both of these are labels. You fucking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I disagree with both.
Sir,
right, we just talked.
Why did you start with this one? And then when I hold on. You started with this one. Then when I read them off, you were like, no, I agree with them for the most part. This one you don't agree with, but you started it because you actually disagree with this. You don't disagree with this. You are this person. You actually are a red pillar in disguise, and you're up here just being a fucking Phil bro weirdo. You're just being a Phil bro weirdo, and you're trying to mask it in this idea of like, I asked you about being nihilistic. You never were going to offer up that information, and now you're trying to run with it and like really like double down like, yeah, I'm a nihilist. No, you're a fucking pessimistic weirdo. You're not a nihilist.
Pessimistic weirdo.
That's it. Oh, the world's going to end one day. The world's going to end one day. The sun's going to blow up one day. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? We know that. But what does that have to do with today? Today, people are suffering. Today, people are going through things. Today, the world, you're right. You're right. With scientifically, there's no argument there. There's no debate. One day, this world will end. One day. You're right. No matter what, even if humans start loving each other and we never get into another war or anything, you are right. One day, this will all end. I'm not going to deny you that whatsoever. But today, we are suffering. So let's talk about that. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine, man. Again, like I was under the assumption we were talking about women, right? You clarified and said no. You said it's nothing to do with women. It has to do with men.
Yeah, come in. Come in. Hold on. Oh yeah, should have left it open for you.
To the person in the comments talking about some I don't know Nietzsche. Yes, I'm aware he was an existentialist, but he gave accounts for nihilism. It's ridiculous, bro. It's not even like exactly. It's not even anything about being a pessimist. It's more cynical, which is why the guy here, like this public guy, is just like so. I don't know. You don't know shit. Okay.
All right, here we go. Got some people over here doing some work on my house.
Don't talk to the comments. Y'all can cry about it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like, and also, like I said, like the thing that I really don't be respecting about y'all is the fact that, like, you actually are a red pillar, right? You actually, I don't know if you are, if you subscribe to it or not, but I'm saying you believe in red pill ideology, clearly. Like, yeah. I don't be knowing why.
Prove that, bro.
I can't prove it?
No.
Okay. You proved it. I don't have to prove it. You proved it.
The claim. What the hell?
Huh?
You said I subscribe to this like red pill ideology. Mm-hmm. So I'm asking you what the proof is for that.
When you came up here and said, "Oh, we don't need feminism," and then I was like, "Why don't we?" And then you agreed to everything over here, disagree with this shit. Allegedly, you disagree with this, but you attacked feminism first, and then you say, "Oh, it's just because of label." So is red pill. And feminism isn't even a label. Feminism is an ideology. It's not even a label. A feminist would be a label, right? Feminism isn't a label. You said you disagree with feminism, which isn't a label, and you didn't say anything about red pill until I pointed it out. And then you just said that the reason why I disagree with feminism is because it's a label. Like what?
I think it's entailed that if I disagree with red pill, I'm also going to disagree with being like a label of like following the red pill ideology. I agreed with the feminism ideology, right? With the things that it pushes. I just don't agree with the label, which is why I said, right? I don't agree with the feminist label.
You don't agree with the feminist label. Then what do you want to? Then what would you call? What if do you believe that that there are systems of oppression that exist?
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously. So, and these systems have labels, correct?
They do.
Okay. And there are people who ascribe to these labels and to these systems, correct? Like if you're like capitalism, you're capitalist, right? And then what does it mean? And it's easy to identify those people if you call them a capitalist because they ascribe to the tenets of capitalism, right? That's why you call them a capitalist. So we just all understand like, oh, that's a capitalist, right?
No.
Okay. Why would this be any different?
What do you mean any different? I disagree with those too.
But for what reason? There's you haven't explained your logic behind it.
The labels are just there to divide people. Right? I haven't done anything good.
Division is good.
You think division is good? I mean,
yeah.
History feels like otherwise.
No, history hasn't told you that.
Also, like I can bring up, like for example, religion. How like being under like the label of like let's just say a Jewish or like people that follow the Jewish ideology or the Jewish faith, and then also the people that follow the the Muslim or the Islamic faith. Like, we see that being under these labels, these people clash, and there's like been a lot of like war.
But that's just an example of when it's not good. But there are many examples of how we need labels. For an example, what is the difference between a man and a boy?
Well, a man is an adult human male.
And okay, cool. What is the difference between a woman and a girl?
Woman's adult human female.
Okay. Is it okay for a man to sleep with a boy?
No.
Okay. So imagine if we remove those labels.
I mean, that's fine.
No. Now you don't get to say that's fine. Do you see why we need labels?
No, I'm saying we do. I'm not disagreeing. Like to me personally, right? Like it just depends on like being
What?
a man and being a boy. Being a man and being a boy, right? Those are not ideologies.
It is.
Right?
They are, because they're made up. They're arbitrary. They're not
Yes,
real,
those
bro.
are just
Being a
classic.
man and being a boy are made up. They're made up.
Those are just classifications. Ideologies are different.
Sir, you don't know what you're talking about. Being a man, hold on, being an adult man, right? Being an adult male. Okay, what constitutes an adult?
Being like going through like the post-pubescent like stage.
Okay, and does everybody finish puberty at the same time?
No.
Okay, so how do you know when somebody's an adult? How do we figure that out in society?
I mean, obviously we would use like some sort of like test. Right?
Test?
Like,
no.
Like,
How do we do it now? How do we do it now?
Now we just like objectively measure at like at what point in time.
An age. We say an age, right? We say 18 is an adult, 21 is an adult, whatever, right? It's an age, it's a number, which is also arbitrary. So in this society, it's 18. Is it 18 in every other society?
No.
Okay, cool. Therefore, it is made up. The idea of a man is made up. The idea of a woman is made up. These are made up things. But we have seen there's a need for these labels, right? Because it helps to protect people. We also see how these labels can hurt people, though. Correct?
Yes.
So labels can be needed and not needed. So when
I think you're misunderstanding, right? I'm not disagreeing with labels entirely. Right?
You did, though.
Men and boys, right? I agree. Those are like arbitrarily chosen, but you can like empirically measure like when someone's a man.
No, you can't.
Empirically measure if you can't.
You cannot.
We do this outside of like man. Like I understand man and like boy. Those are just gendered terms, right? But the underlying what's like referring to is like adult human male. You can like empirically measure. You can't. Yes, you can.
I swear to I promise you cannot empirically measure it.
We do this with other animals. What makes you think we can't?
We're not other animals. We are humans.
This guy. Let's be specific.
We're talking to each other on a fucking phone with a camera and a microphone. You're talking about comparing fucking penguins and ducks. Like, stop. We're not the same, bro. Like, let's be so fucking for real.
I never said we were the same. Our developmental stages is similar. The process of going from a child to a teen to an adult. You can see this with other mammals outside of human beings. Let's not be disingenuous here, right? So, like, I'm saying that we can empirically measure that. I'm not disagreeing with labels in that sense, because we do need them. But I'm talking about labels in terms of an ideology, right? Some sort of belief system, right? Like, so when we're talking about,
sir, I'm trying to tell you that what I'm telling you is it is just a belief that you are an adult when you turn 18. That is just a belief. It's not a real thing.
How is it? Okay, it's a belief, but it's not a belief system, bro.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, you not know what a belief
it is. What's the difference? What's the difference in this context?
Okay, so a belief system is going to have groups of people that's going to be subscribing to this ideology.
Sir, are there not a group? Are there not certain things that men are expected to do versus boys?
I mean, obviously, yeah.
Okay, that is a belief system. We believe by the age of 25, you should be doing X, Y, and Z. We believe by the age of 19, you shouldn't be doing A, B, and C. Those are belief. That is a belief system. That is a, hold on, sir. That is a belief system. We believe that at a certain point, men and women should be or shouldn't be doing certain things. It is literally the same thing. We believe in this stuff. It is not real. It is not real. It's arbitrary. It could be important. It could not be important. Like, we don't know. It's all subjective for the most part. But what we as a group, as a society collectively believe, right? Most of us, right? And I mean that, and even that is slight. Most of us, by a slight margin, believe that men shouldn't be hunching on kids and that women shouldn't be hunching on kids. That's what we believe. And that is a very important aspect or reason why we need to differentiate between men and boys and women and girls, right? So back to my point. You said that labels aren't necessary. That is literally what you said verbatim. Labels aren't necessary. You did not give any nuance. And I just gave you many examples of why labels are necessary. So now what are you saying?
Again, I clarified, right?
No.
Like the thing with yes, I did. And you just brought up.
You just changed your argument. You just moved the goalpost. You didn't clarify shit. You just moved the goalpost.
Because we have like different expectations for different ages, right? That's for age. That has nothing to do with your gender, right? If you didn't know, like if this, let's just say we knew this being was like 25, but we didn't know the gender of this being, well, you wouldn't want them to be around like a 12-year-old boy, right? So that has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with their gender, right? It just has to do with their age.
Gender
so
too.
What are talking about?
It's
no,
both.
It does not. No,
Sir, so you don't. So you're not telling me that there. Hold on. Are you not
fictional? We can just point to like fictional like instances, right, where like our gender terms would not apply. You would still say it would be wrong for like this 25-year-old entity to be around.
That's not the point.
No, it is the point.
That's not the point. That doesn't even make sense. Sir, women, it's all gendered. Men and women are in and of itself gendered, like that. Those are the literal genders. Secondly, feminism is gendered, right? And so what the way you're trying to explain this away, it doesn't make sense. You literally just made it up. You're just making it up as you go. You don't really have a real belief, which leads me to believe that this is what you actually believe.
Yeah, making up stuff means you're a red pillar. That makes no sense, bro.
In this context, right now, in this discussion, you're just making up stuff. Anybody that says, like, you're basically saying, I don't see color, right? But guess who? The only people that say I don't see color are racist people. You know what I'm saying? The only people who say I don't see color are the people who fucking invented color and racism. You see what I'm saying? The only people that say that, oh, we don't need either thing are people who believe in the harmful thing. Because why wouldn't you believe in the non-harmful thing? Like, what are you talking? We need this to cure this. What do you talk? What do you mean?
I never said I don't disagree with the ideology is pushing. Again, I have to clarify with you. This is the third time I have to clarify. I don't disagree with what the ideology is pushing, right? I just disagree with the label, right? You just have a problem with that for some like odd reason.
Because you're lying. Because you're not consistent. Because you don't know what you're talking about. Not for some odd reason. The reason why I don't, hold on. The reason why I don't agree with you is because you don't know what you're talking about. And you just keep changing what you're saying. Because again, you said, I don't agree. I don't believe in labels. You gave no specifications. You just said, I don't agree with labels. And then when I made a very good, valid point about no labels, I said, so labels aren't needed. And you said, no, they're not. Again, that was your second time. You could have caught yourself. If that's what you were really saying, what you're trying to fucking change it to, you could have caught yourself and said, no, labels are needed sometimes. You didn't do that. You said, no, they're not. Then I said, okay, men, women, boys, girl, da-da-da-da. And you said, yeah, I see your point. And then you said, but that's not what I'm saying. And then you changed your fucking point.
I never changed my point.
Oh my God, this motherfucker.
I never changed my point.
I can't stand
labels. This guy's is like, this is why I brought up the issue with that.
You know what's a part of red pill? Pseudo-intellectualism is a cornerstone of red pill ideology, by the way.
Yeah, you just made that up too.
I didn't make that up. I don't make shit up. Pseudo-intellectualism is a cornerstone of red pill ideology. If you read about red pill ideology, any scholar that has ever talked about red pill ideology will tell you without a doubt that is a cornerstone of red pill ideology. It's pseudo-intellectualism.
Why would I read into red pill ideology? I think red pill ideology is stupid.
Me too. But guess what? I still study it. I think a bunch of things are stupid. I think racism is stupid, but I study it. I think capitalism is stupid, but I study it. The fuck are you talking about? Why would I study it? So you can understand it better. So you can understand how to avoid it. So you can understand how to dismantle it.
I think it's just common sense to avoid the things that's being presented in red
It's
pill
not
ideology.
common sense. It's not.
Really?
It's really not common sense, right? That is the sense of the commoners. And commoners believe that men are superior to women. That's what common sense would teach us. So it wouldn't go against common sense. It would actually, the red pill ideology actually embodies common sense. It pushes common sense. That's the problem with it.
Superior to women, like what book, like what? Nowhere in like throughout the history. Like if you just take up a book and just start reading, or just show that there isn't some sort of superiority between men and women. In fact, we're just like relatively similar in terms of our capabilities.
Are you? Wait. I'm not. I know that. I'm talking about the patriarchy as a system and how it functions.
Huh? What patriarchy?
What patriarchy? See, this is also strike number 3. This is how I know you're a red pillar. What patriarchy exactly?
Yeah. What patriarchy?
The one that we exist in right now. The one that we've been existing in this country for fucking 500 years. That patriarchy.
The United States. The United States not a patriarchy as of
exactly.
Right now.
Exactly. Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've been telling you this. I knew you were a red pillar. You don't think that the patriarchy is real? You're a red pillar, without a doubt.
I never said that. Wait, you're misconstruing my argument. I never said the patriarchy isn't real. I'm just saying America, as of right now, is not a patriarchy.
That's the same fucking thing. You're saying it's not real right now. You're saying it doesn't exist right now. Same fucking thing, sir. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, to say that it's not it right now is not to say it doesn't exist at all.
That's not what you're saying. It doesn't exist at all right now.
No,
today.
It's not the case that it's patriarchy exists independent of America, bro.
Sir, what the fuck are you? What do you even mean? What does that even mean? How can it exist?
For me, right? Patriarchy is going to be some sort of tyrannical society that's going to be ran by men that seeks to exclude women based off irrational reasoning.
That's America.
That is not America.
Okay.
Okay. That's not America. That is not America as of right now. Because the deterrence is for such things happening.
Where?
There's policies that deter from men doing such things.
Where?
What do you mean where?
Where are these policies? Name them.
For example, there's going to be like policies that deter employers.
Name no. Name the policy. The reason why I'm asking you to name the policy, I first want you to tell me what policy specifically you're referring to, and then we can, and then once you find out what policy it is, I can show you how people actually get around said policy if it exists at all. So name the policy specifically. What policy?
Well, I think it depends. I don't know off my head, but it's like act something, act on some sort of number.
Hold on, but wait. You say you gotta be honest. You don't know what you're talking about. Again, you're assuming something, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm assuming there exists a policy that seeks to deter people from discriminating based upon hiring. Yeah, totally.
No. I'm saying that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
what are you saying?
I'm saying you don't know what the policy actually entails. Because you don't know.
Please, you can just look up
Okay, you look it up right now and you tell me what policy you're talking about. Tell me what it is. Tell me what the policy is. Let's read it together. I'll hold your sticky little hand with a napkin and I'll walk you through how people don't fucking care about that policy. That's what I'm saying. And if it said 10 on Stevie Wonder, he's so blind. I'm gonna do it. You gotta wear fucking rubber gloves. Hold that motherfucking hand. Aquarius said Teddy barking for BS. Policy of these nuts. 2 on him. That's 12. What a waste, man.
I'm gonna help him out just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, unless you don't want me to.
No, I absolutely. I don't mind.
I think he's talking about the EEOC, which is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, which makes it illegal for employers to discriminate based on all these protected classes or such and such. That's probably what he's talking about. Yep. I don't know if it
No, I'm with it. I hear you. Now
I just looked it up. Yeah, it was the EEOC.
Yeah, EEOC. Okay, cool. So let's take a journey down and take a journey down this path so that we can see if this is actually true. So in this country, right? Because you have to make it make sense to me, right? And I'm gonna start with Ox. You're not in America, obviously. You don't sound American. I'm guessing Canadian, but close enough.
Actually in America, but okay.
Okay, you might be in America, but you're not American.
I was born here, but okay.
You were born in America? Okay. I think you lied to me about this before. But okay, so you're born in America and you're an American. We believe you. Okay. Now my question becomes, do you think racism exists?
Obviously.
Okay, so obviously racism exists. Okay. So the EEOC has protective classes. Is race a protected class?
Is race a protected class? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if race is a protected class and racism still exists, how do they practice racism in business, politics, education, so on and so forth, on a systemic level? Do you think that they practice racism on a systemic level?
Yes.
Yeah, they do. Okay. They practice racism on a systemic level, but the EEOC exists, correct?
Correct.
So obviously, you can get around the EEOC. Even if it exists, you can get around it. It's pretty easy.
This guy does not understand.
I don't understand.
First of all, like obviously, like you can say this about like any law that exists in the United States. It's not to prevent the things to happen. It's to deter it from happening.
Okay, but it doesn't mean, hold on, but just so we're clear, your assertion is that the patriarchy doesn't exist because of said policies. But right now, you just said that racism exists in spite of said policies. So make it make sense.
God.
Oh my God, I'm cooked.
Listen, you're just not understanding. These policies are used to deter such like acts from happening.
Sir, I understand what they're used for. I'm asking. Hold on, Ox. Hold on. No. What I'm asking you now, again, you're right. We don't disagree. That the policies were created to deter on paper, at least, to deter certain actions and activities. I agree. Nobody in here disagrees with you. But yet, racism is still rampant. Therefore, the EEOC did not stop racism, right?
They're not supposed to stop racism. Oh my goodness.
Then why?
This is like basic understanding of what policies are for. There's a difference between prevention and deterrence. Deterrence is recognizing that there are going to be people that's going to work around the specific policy, right? But it's just to make sure that it doesn't just happen, right? There's something in place that deters people from.
Is racism rampant? Is racism rampant in America? Hold on. Is racism rampant in America? Is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It
so
is.
Again, it's not obviously it's not deterring anybody. Obviously.
That's just not true, bro.
How is it make sense? Both things can't exist at the same time.
Oh my goodness.
They can't exist at the same time. You cannot say the EEOC is supposed to prevent people, but it doesn't. That's my point. And
I never made
you did.
that claim.
You did make that claim. Hold on.
I did not.
All right.
That's why I'm saying
All right. Mute up. You keep lying, and I'm tired of it. Stop lying. Mute up. Ox. I muted you for a reason. Don't unmute. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. You're doing well. We're going to go back in time to about 15 minutes ago when Ox told us why the patriarchy doesn't exist. Right? We are going to go back in time to when this gentleman told us that the patriarchy does not exist.
Yeah, this guy loves strawmanning, bro.
I ain't straw. All right. Let's go back in time. Can't exist at the same time. They can't exist at the same time. You cannot say the EOC is
policies are used to deter such like shit.
I don't understand. Protected class and racism still is American. We believe you. Country, right? Because you have to make it make sense to me.
A little bit.
Mhm.
I don't know, unless you don't want me to.
No, I absolutely. Little hand with a napkin, and I'll walk you through how people don't fucking care about that policy. You're assuming something, right? Where are these policies? Name them.
Where, for example, yeah, to say that it's not it right now is not to say it doesn't exist at all.
That's not what you're saying. It doesn't exist at all right now. Today.
It's the case that it's patriarchy exists independent of America. Bro.
Sir, what the fuck are you? What do you even mean? What does that even mean? How can it exist?
For me, right? Patriarchy is going to be some sort of tyrannical society that's going to be ran by men that seeks to exclude women based off irrational reasoning.
That's America.
That is not America.
Okay.
Okay. That's not America.
And just so we're clear, you are making definitive claims. You're saying that's not. We are not. You're not. There's no nuance. You're saying we are not. We don't live in that. Literally, that's what you're saying. Just so we're clear. So no nuance as of yet. Right? Let's keep going because it gets worse.
Right as of right now, because the deterrence is for such things happening.
Where?
There's policies that deter from men doing such things.
Where?
What do you mean where?
Where are these policies? Name them.
Where, for example, there's going to be like policies that deter employers.
Name the no. Name the policy. Listen again.
It's not to say it doesn't exist at all.
That's not what you're saying. It doesn't exist at all right now. Today.
It's the case that it's no.
Hold on. I know you're a red pillar. What patriarchy exactly?
Yeah, what patriarchy?
The one that we exist in right now. The one that we've been existing in this country for fucking 500 years. That patriarchy.
The United States. The United States is not a patriarchy as of
exactly.
Right now.
Exactly. The patriarchy is not. The United States is not a patriarchy as of right now. That is a definitive statement. You didn't leave any wiggle room. Just so we're clear. And then I asked you, well, what makes it not a patriarchy anymore? And you brought up the policies. And then we all just agreed that the policies don't actually stop the thing. They're just put there to hopefully prevent the thing. And then we both agreed that that just because the policy is there, it doesn't mean that the actions have actually stopped. And now you're acting like I'm gaslighting you. No, sir, you're a fucking liar.
That doesn't prove a patriarchy. To his point, that doesn't prove a patriarchy just because it doesn't.
He hasn't disproved it. That doesn't disprove it. You fucking idiots. He didn't disprove anything. I said the patriarchy exists, and your response to that.
I was waiting for the gotcha because I literally said these policies are to deter, like they're for deterrence. They're not for prevention. If I said they were for prevention, then yeah, like obviously. Like,
okay, so
it's the case that policies.
All right, hold on, wait. We'll go back. We'll go back. We'll go back because you're lying again. We'll go back.
I'm lying.
Yeah, again. We'll go back again. We'll start over. Does the patriarchy exist in America?
As of right now, America's not a patriarchy.
Okay, step by step. America is not a patriarchy as of now. Okay. Now, was it a patriarchy at one point in time?
Yes.
Okay. What has changed? How did we become not a patriarchy? What stopped it?
The implementation of policies
Okay.
to
deter. Okay.
Deter specific discrepancies that occurred during the time where America was considered a
Okay.
patriarchy.
So do policies actually stop
That's not the purpose of the policy. No.
Hold on, wait. Hold on.
go to the bathroom with smoke alarm.
Yep.
And got the estimate for the hole in the dining room.
Okay.
The stairs case that needs painting.
Yep.
The railings as well.
Mhm.
And I secured the front door as well.
Okay. This is broken too.
Okay.
And the other one in the kids' room, in the room with the bunk beds on the end, it's broken.
It turns on and everything, or just
It turns on, but there's no blade. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the kids, the light is broken too. I don't know. Yeah, this on there too. I'll pull it. I haven't cut it on a long time. Yeah.
I can get pictures of those, and that should be
Okay. Appreciate you.
I think you guys are missing each other. What you guys are doing.
No, we're not, Pinhead. But go ahead. I'm listening.
Because, like, I don't know. I'm not trying to assume your point, but even in a society where I could ask you, name a country that doesn't have a patriarchy. Even in those societies, racism still exists. So I don't believe these policies could ever.
In no country does the patriarchy exist. In no country on the face of this planet does the patriarchy not exist.
Fine, I'll use another example. In a matriarchal society, maybe not a country, there is still racism. So meaning.
Wait. There's not. There's where? In a matriarchal society, name a matriarchal.
Are you telling me that a patriarchy has to exist for racism to exist?
Yes.
Well, that's just not true.
A patriarch. Yeah. What the fuck?
Country doesn't have to be run by men for racism to exist.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What do you? I think I got it flipped around. What are you saying? Say that again.
I'm saying racism can exist independent of what sex or gender leads a country. Do you disagree?
No, it wouldn't. No. You can't. It can't be independent. It can't. It would always function that way because in a country where, well, I guess technically, I guess you could say that the white men and white women could be equal, and then black men and black women would be below them, but it would be because of their race and not their gender, right? Like that's it, it could be, but that shit don't never happen.
Black women? Without men, women can still be racist.
Yeah. They could, yeah, they could be technically.
So I guess are you trying to say that racism, that the fact that policies can't 100% stop racism indicates to why a patriarchy exists in America?
Policies can 100% stop racism.
No, they can.
Yes, they can.
How can you stop individuals from being racist? I'm not talking.
You can see this. How did we get racism to begin with?
Well, let's not derail the conversation.
No, that's not derailing the conversation at all. How did we get racism to begin with?
Where people started thinking that they were more important than other people.
That's not what happened. No, think deeper. That's not what happened. How did we, as the common folk, how did we get racism to begin with? Because we didn't invent it.
I know you're looking for a specific answer. I'm probably gonna not be able to provide it. So can you just tell me?
We got racism because of policies. We got the racism because of policies. The only reason why you're racist is because you were taught to be racist. If you didn't get taught to be racist, racism wouldn't exist. So you definitely could stamp out racism with policies. You definitely could stamp out the patriarchy.
Existed for thousands of years before policies existed.
It didn't.
In what way?
Yeah, bro. How are you gonna? So, like, wait a second. You can 100% stomp out a belief system. How?
I'm telling you how. What the fuck? Racism. Hold on. Racism didn't exist for thousands of years. Pinhead, you don't know shit about racism. Like neither one of you know about either anything you're fucking talking about. But racism didn't exist.
Racism as a system, and
racism is a system. The fuck are you talking about? It is a system.
And so, what's a system? You have to have policies to have a system.
Yes, you have to have beliefs. You have to have a whole. You have to, sir. Y'all are.
Racism did not start with America. No,
who thought? Wait. Who said it did? Where did it start?
Yeah, I said it's been going on for thousands of years.
I know. And where did it start?
I don't know what society or
exactly. You don't even fucking know. I do. And it didn't start thousands of years ago. It started in Portugal 600 years ago.
But before that, they weren't race. No, there was no race.
Race didn't exist.
Years ago?
Race didn't exist 1,000 years ago, sir. Race didn't exist 700 years ago.
Race didn't exist. Race has always existed.
No, race is made up. It didn't exist. The idea of race. Stop fucking talking while I'm talking, Pinhead. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Race didn't exist 600, 700 years ago. Literally, it didn't exist because it's a concept. So the concept didn't exist. Therefore, race didn't exist. Race didn't exist 700 years ago. The Portuguese made it up as a way for them to justify their exploitation of black people. They made it up out of thin air. But do you know where they stop? And do you know where they got the idea from?
Where did they get the idea?
From the patriarchy. They got the idea from the patriarchy. They built the system of racism. They fashioned it on top of the system of patriarchy. They said, oh yeah, even Ox said it earlier. He was saying, yeah, red pill is stupid because, it's just basically men believing that women are inferior to them for no reason, for a dumb reason, right? Fine. That's exactly what they did with racism. They just said, yeah, black people are inferior. And then they sold it through policies, right? They literally, it was a political thing. They had to go to the kings, they had to go to the queen, they sold it as a policy, and then they disseminated it amongst the masses so that the common folk could buy into the ideology, so that they wouldn't, because people were pushing back against the idea of enslaving black people. They were like, what the fuck? This is crazy. And they said, well, shit, we got to figure out some way to keep the common folk at bay. And they said, I know, we'll tell them that these black people are gorillas and monkeys from another country, and they're inferior to us, and they don't feel as much pain, and their brains are smaller than ours, and their medulla oblongata is connected to their kneecap, and they just made up a bunch of shit, and that's how we got racism.
Yeah, but it doesn't come from patriarchy, though. It argued that it came from us having hierarchical values. Like, us having hierarchical values predates patriarchy. What are we talking about? I can just date this back to like when for example, with sexism, right? Like with having like these misogynistic values. That just predates patriarchy even existing. So what are we saying? Like, we're not the only animals here that have like hierarchical values. There's other animals that have hierarchical values that live in societies.
And there's some animals that don't have hierarchical values.
And that's fine. But I'm just talking about the ones specifically.
So stop bringing up animals.
What do you mean stop bringing up
Because
animals?
again, we don't understand ourselves through animals. We shouldn't. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We shouldn't be doing that.
Well, science does that. But,
it does. So what? So what? Hold on. Wait. Time out. To what extent?
Well, to what extent?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm like, they test chemicals on mice and shit. I'm with that type of shit. But you're talking about how we think. That's fucking different. Like, what are we talking about?
We're obviously all how we think is going to be different. We're just talking about our behavioral attitudes, right? We can just look at, like, again.
That's not even a real term. Our behavioral attitudes isn't even a real, that doesn't even mean anything.
That's not a real
That's
term.
word salad. Behavioral attitudes has never been uttered in fucking the history of mankind. That's dumb.
Okay, bro.
I'm not even joking. What does that even mean? That doesn't even mean anything. Behavioral attitudes.
Like patterns of behavior, bro.
Patterns of behavior. Okay. That I get. Okay. Venice said, Ox, you're a dummy, bitch. Oh, man.
Can we stop racism by implementing policy?
Yes. 100%. 1,000%. 1,000% we can stop it. Look, hold on. And we can stop racism, in one generation.
What policy would we have to implement? What does it look like?
It wouldn't be one policy. That's
how many policies?
Fucking all of them. But I can tell you, I'll give you where you start. You start in education, first and foremost. You start in education. The first place you start, right? Because you're racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna be racist until you die. I'm a misogynist. You're a misogynist. This dude's a misogynist. We're gonna be misogynists until we die. We're already fucked, right? We can unlearn it and we cannot be actively participating in it, but we're going to be what we're going to be until we die. But our kids don't have to be, right? So if you start with education, then you can stamp it out in one generation. So you have to start with education. Then you have to remove it from all media. You have to remove racism from all media, which is a part of education, by the way. But you have to remove racism from all media. All
How do
media.
you remove racism from media?
How do you remove? What the fuck? You remove it. You don't teach. You don't talk about racism. You don't teach it. You don't shut up. You don't push it. You don't sell it to the masses. You don't make movies.
Media is sold to the masses.
It is because you're racist. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like the more you say, you
think I'm racist.
I know you're racist. I don't think you're Pinhead. I don't think you're racist. I know you're racist. 1,000%. You are racist.
Hold on a second.
I don't think you're a messiah. I know you're fucking racist.
Talk about your foundation, right? Because you said that the cure to all of this is having children. So you expect.
No, I didn't say that. That's a straw man.
So that's a straw man?
Yeah, because I never said that.
Wait. You said that children, right,
Mhm.
or kids are not going to be this like racist or whatever, right? So that means we can like not teach them about this like ideology that's harmful, correct? Okay,
Yeah.
so for us to do this, right, wouldn't it be the case that women need to have children with these men that are so-called racist and misogynistic?
No, because by your logic, if we never had another kid, racism would end eventually because we all would die out, dummy. So that's a dumb argument. We don't need to have kids to end. Hold on. But do you see how stupid this is? We don't need to have kids to end racism. That's dumb. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's not like, what the fuck are y'all? Like, y'all just be saying stuff. We need to have kids so we can end racism. That's not what I said. That's not even a point. Like, you really thought that was an intelligent point to make? That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That was dumb as hell. Like, what? If people don't exist, racism doesn't exist, correct? Okay, cool. Let's move on. Like, what are we talking about? This is fucking stupid. If people don't exist, racism doesn't exist. Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
There is no. That's not a point. That's a dumbass point. That's what I'm saying.
Dumbass point.
What the fuck? What point would that? Hold on. How would that further the conversation? Like, seriously, what does that do?
It would satisfy your like disposition that you can stomp out racism entirely by there not being any people, right? But obviously, you have your own like.
Obviously, I don't want to stomp out all people.
Talking about children, like if we have children, we could just not teach them this like racist ideology.
We are going to have children. Children are being born every day. Last time I checked, children are being born every day. So guess what? All you have to do to end racism is not teach it and not practice it. That's I promise you, that's it. And I mean, when I say not practice it, if you don't practice it systemically, it will go away because it starts at the top. You fucking idiots think racism started amongst regular people. It didn't. It started at the top. And then it disseminated amongst the masses. So you kill it at the top. You hit the head and the body dies. Like, what the fuck? The same way they taught us racism, we can unlearn it and we can unteach the future generations. Racism gone, patriarchy gone, misogyny gone. Period.
I'm gonna make a crazy statement. You guys are probably gonna disagree. If somehow all the men on this world magically disappeared and they had to like start over as babies and grow up, we'd still be racist in 50 years' time. I truly believe that.
I don't even want to get to that point. I just don't think we should just unlearn history.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about this statement that Pinhead just made? This is why I be saying, Pinhead, you just be making up shit. You just said 2 minutes ago, you're not racist. Right?
How was what I just said? That was a hypothetical, obviously.
I know. I'm saying, but in your hypothetical, you are saying something that actually talks to your bias. You're saying no matter what, we, and you mean you and white people, not me, because I'm not racist. But you, as a white man, you're saying we will be racist no matter what.
We as a society,
which confirms that you yourself are actually fucking racist.
We're all racist.
We're not all racist. Now you're contradicting yourself again because 2 minutes ago you weren't racist. But the only way for you to admit that you're racist is if you say we're all racist. No, you're racist. I'm not. I'm not racist. You're racist. I'm not.
Hey, can you answer the question? Why do you want people to unlearn history?
What do I want? I don't want people to unlearn history.
Okay, but if
I didn't
racism is
say
a
don't
practice,
teach history. You don't teach racism. You can teach the history of racism without teaching racism.
wait, how can you teach? Wait. How can you teach the history of racism without teaching racism?
You talk about the negative impacts of racism on society.
Which would mean that you would have to talk about racism. Like, this guy's like ridiculous. You would have to talk about the practices of racism, what it did to the people, that the victims of racism. Like, what are we saying? And what racists did and their ideologies, right? Their
When we are taught
life.
about racism, when we are taught about racism in this country, right, or in European countries, let's say, when we are taught about racism, do you believe that they actually teach us the effects of racism? Like, historically, from a historical standpoint, do you think that they do that they give us like a comprehensive viewpoint about the reverberating effects of racism?
Not fully. Well, not fully, because when they teach it, it's usually in the concept of kids. And I don't think they want to really teach kids what racist. Yeah, I mean, when I learned about racism, right, on what happened during like the transatlantic slave trade, they didn't really go into detail about like what happened.
Okay.
They didn't go
Yeah. They didn't go into detail. They didn't actually tell you how bad slaves had it. We still don't know truly how bad slaves had it, because there's no record. There's like very few records of slaves talking about how bad it was. You see what I'm saying? So you don't really know. The only information you have about slavery is from who? The slavers. You think they're going to tell you how bad slavery was? Nope. So that's what I'm talking about when I say don't teach racism in class. That's what I'm saying. You don't teach it from that. You don't teach racism from the perspective of the fucking racists. You teach it from the perspective of the victims. That's what I'm saying. That's perfectly okay. Like, and think Nazi Germany. Look at what how they taught and teach about the Nazis in Germany. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Do you think that white teachers are not as qualified as black teachers to teach history classes, especially?
No, I don't believe that.
Then
it depends on your level of education.
But if all
like this dude down here is black and you're white, I wouldn't want either one of y'all teaching a class on race or racism.
If all white people are inherently racist, why should white?
That has nothing to do with their level of education, sir. Tim Wise is an admitted racist. He will tell you he's a racist. He would tell you that he's unpacking his racism, and it's an on.
Say we shouldn't listen to
listen before you respond. Listen, Tim Wise is an anti-racist white man, right? But Tim Wise will tell you he is racist still. He is still shut the fuck up. Why are you talking while I'm talking? Tim Wise is still a race. But with that being said, I would go and listen to Tim Wise talk about racism over 99% of black people I'm talking about in this country specifically, of black people. So I think he is in the top 1% of educators when it comes to racism. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, black, white, I don't give a fuck. He is extremely knowledgeable about racism. Now, if Tim Wise was teaching me about his own experience, then that's different. Then, of course, I'm going to listen to people. I'm more likely to gravitate towards people who are affected by racism, if that's what the class is about. But if it's just about history, right, at this point, that's what I'm saying. Talking about racism from a historical context all the way up until today, he is in the top 1% of educators, black, white, or otherwise. That's what I'm saying. Like, wow, I don't give a fuck what race you are. If you're educated, you're educated. Racist or not, I don't care. It has nothing to do with it. Like, I don't know what you think that's some gotcha, and because you don't understand racism, and that's why you are a racist, because you don't understand it.
Like, what if it was okay? So it could be the case that like the racist or the slavers were also educated in their field of what they were doing. So why wouldn't we listen to them?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time, Alex. I'm sorry.
I'm saying that, for example, it could have been the case that the slavers were educated in how they were treating the slaves, right? So within their field of treating the slaves, why wouldn't we listen to them?
Logically, the same people who said that black people are inherently stronger and feel less pain than white people And that's why you can work them from sun up to sundown, even when to the point where their tendons would snap off from their fucking bones. They said, oh, yeah, but black people don't feel that. Those same people were the ones writing and talking about slavery and talking about racism. So no, I don't think that those people would ever be objective when it comes to racism. Why are you talking while I'm talking? Like,
just making up points, bro.
I'm not making up a point. That's stupid. I don't make up a point. I made a point. Black Star said, talking about 1933 Germany doesn't make you a Nazi. Exactly. Talking about 1933 Germany and saying that was fucking terrible and we should never do that again is not you teaching fucking Nazism to people. That's not the same thing. But talking about 1933 and saying, there was bad people on good sides, or there were good people on both sides, or whatever. That's teaching Nazism. Talking about, slavery was bad, but if black people had never came over here, they never would have got to find Christ.
And that no one was talking like that. They're just saying that, for example, I'm just critiquing you because you just want to unlearn history, right? The same thing with Nazi Germany. If people wanted to know the effects of fascism, right, you would have to go through Nazi Germany to understand that.
What did I say? I wanted to unlearn history.
Never said you wanted to unlearn history. You said you want people to unlearn racism.
No, you just said that I said that I wanted people to unlearn history. You just said it several times.
Yes, because I said that racism is a part of history. Right? And you said, well, you can teach the history of racism without teaching racism, which is ridiculous.
What? Yes, without teaching racism, not teaching about it. Sir, you can teach about racism without teaching racism.
Yeah,
you not understand the difference?
Yeah, how, bro?
I just fucking told you.
No, you did not.
Man, you dumb as fuck.
This is
oh my God. These motherfuckers are so stupid.
This guy's saying I can teach you about how I don't have to teach you what a bike is. Like, what? It's a joke.
Well, I think he's saying you don't have to be racist to teach what racism is. Like,
man, what? Are y'all dumb and dumber?
You have to be racist to understand what racism is? I don't understand.
You don't say that again. You don't have to be racist to understand what racism is. Yeah, you don't have to be racist to understand what racism is.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I'm asking Alex, do you have to be racist to know what racism is? Which, no. Okay, but then why are you getting on the public for, like, what I'm also trying to...
I'm just saying, no, because what he's saying is that you can teach racism without teaching what racism is.
Right? That's not what I said.
That is what you said.
I give you, hold on, wait. This is what I'm going to do again. I'll play it back. I already got it queued up. But you want to bet money that I never said that? I've never said anything even remotely close to that.
You can just clarify, bro. We don't have to
I've already clarified it, though. You are in. Hold on. Hold on. You are intentionally trying to not understand what I'm saying. I just said what I meant. You can teach about racism without teaching racism, right? Meaning, when you teach somebody racism, you are telling them racism is okay. You're teaching them racism. You're teaching them how to be a racist. That's what that implies. When you teach, be quiet. I'm tired of you guys talking and then making up stuff, and then you need me to clarify, and then you're fucking talking over me. It doesn't make any sense. Listen, teaching a person, hey, this bad thing happened. This was terrible. This should never happen again. Versus, well, yes, the bad stuff happened, but we've grown so much from then. Yeah. Black people were slaves, but nowadays that's a thing of the past. It was just kind of like black people just like lived in like separate places, but it wasn't really that bad. Like Jim Crow was okay. Like that type of shit. That's how we learn. That's how we learn about racism in America via media and our education system. And I'm talking about K through 12, not college. In college, they teach you the real, way closer to the real in college. You get a more comprehensive viewpoint of racism. But in high school, that's what most people go to, and they know that in this country. And when your brain is the most, is developing the most, that's when they plant those fucking seeds. They do it in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. That's when they plant those fucking seeds. Oh yeah, racism wasn't that bad. When you leave it, you don't really have a real understanding of how bad racism is and how it negatively impacts white men like you. You don't even know how bad racism impacts you as a white man. You don't even know it. If you knew it, you wouldn't be racist anymore. Just like as men, we don't know how bad the patriarchy affects us. And that's why you keep fucking perpetuating the patriarchy, because you don't know how bad it affects you. But if you fucking got educated on it, like Ox said he doesn't want to do, why would I study the red pill? So you can see how it fucking affects you. So you can understand it from the inside. So you can now see, oh, damn, I hate that. That's not healthy. If you can understand it from that aspect, then just maybe you will stop perpetuating it against other men, and other men will stop perpetuating it against you, and we could be healthy. Like, this shit is crazy. This is not, this shit that I'm saying is like just basic. Like, what are you arguing against right now? What the fuck do you guys have to argue against what I'm saying? I don't understand.
I'm not arguing against anything that you're saying. I kind of want to, I think we should move on from actually this specific point, but the idea that people are only racist because of what policies have been put into place. Like, I believe that little kids can be racist too. Do you think they can or cannot be racist?
If they're taught to be racist, yes. They will not be born racist, though, no.
Maybe not born racist, but their parents don't have to teach them to be racist, but you can be 6 or 7 on a playground bullying someone just because
I didn't say your parents. See, this is dumb. If you stop fucking trying to argue, if you stop trying to argue, you would hear what I said. I said that no, you can't be born racist, but can you be taught racism? Yes. And then you said, well, their parents don't have to teach them. Who the fuck said their parents are the ones teaching them?
At home, who's teaching them?
I didn't say at home.
Well,
I have kids, bro. I know kids learning from fucking YouTube, from movies, from their friends. I know. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't teach my son misogynistic things, but my son hears misogynistic things all the time. Not for me.
Misogynistic things are 5-year-olds watching on YouTube. I just. Okay.
Do you have kids?
I have one kid. Yes.
How old is your child? You have a small baby, right?
2.
You have 2.
Just turned 2.
Just turned 2. When you, and I'm going to do, I'm so, this is even, I need to do this because I've been talking about doing this, right? I need to do a misogyny and media course for fathers specifically, but anybody could watch it. But my son watches videos about Roblox, right? Pretty much like all the time. All his videos are about Roblox, right?
Yeah.
He don't even watch, my son don't really watch, like, he watches anime too, which is extremely misogynistic. Anime is extremely racist and misogynistic. But anyways, but he watches.
Why do you let him watch it if it's so bad? I'm not saying you,
because I don't shy away from that type of stuff. I let my son consume it because abstinence isn't the answer in this case. I let my son consume it, and I'm there to critique it and correct it. So he can hear it, and then when I hear it, I clock it and I go, well, what did you think about that when he said that? Or when he repeats what they say, I go, why do you believe that? Or why did you say that, son? And then he goes, oh, I don't know. I heard it from da 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 da. And I go, oh, okay. And then we have the conversation. I don't think in most cases you don't teach people stuff. I think you combat a bad idea with a good idea. You see what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to talk about it. I think you combat a bad idea with a good idea.
Some things, though, that you should shield them from just because it's so bad, though.
Yeah,
right?
I do. I shield him from the things that I believe are so bad. I don't let him watch corn. You see what I'm saying?
Obviously. So what were you saying? Can you
so my son, when you're watching Roblox stuff, they use certain rhetoric, right? They say stuff like Sigma boy. They talk about jawlines.
I'm not saying you're wrong. In Roblox?
In the
Sigma boy on Roblox video?
Yes, in Roblox videos, they say, oh, he's such a Sigma boy and stuff like that. There's my son sings a song, Sigma boy, Sigma boy, Sigma, Sigma, Sigma boy. Like literally, they talk about that. Looks maxing, they talk about that on Roblox videos. Oh, and on these, and he watches, if he's not, and so he found content creators. This is how he finds his content creators. He finds them through Roblox video. Like they make videos about Roblox, but then they have like 4 channels where they do other stuff too. And he watches their content, and they're just teenage boys. They're really just young, you know what I mean? Like early 20s teenage boys talking to 9-year-old boys, 10-year-old boys. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and these young men and boys have ideologies already. They have harmful rhetoric that maybe they don't even know about. And they're just talking like 19-year-old boys, but they're talking to my 9-year-old child. And I don't blame them for doing that. I'm the parent. So I'm there to critique them, and I'm there to correct them. And I'm there first and foremost to be an example of the opposite of that. See what I'm saying? So I'm not worried about my son consuming harmful things necessarily within reason. I'm there. I'm worried I'm only worried if I'm not there to correct and critique it, or his mom's not there to correct and critique it. But I'm not worried about it though. I'm okay. He can, you know what I mean? Like, and I can't tell my son, if I took Roblox away from my son, that's crazy. Like, that's wild, right? Like my mama took me to go see Eddie Murphy, not Raw. She took me to go see Eddie Murphy Raw when I was 5 years old. I remember going to the movie theater as 5 years old watching Eddie Murphy Raw. And if y'all remember in the 80s, Eddie Murphy Raw, to watch that shit as a 5-year-old is crazy.
Well, that's just a different parenting style. But like, yes, I understand. And I agree.
I'm saying, and my mama let me watch Freddy Krueger and
I 100% was at Eddie Murphy Raw with my cousins at 5 years old.
I was there with my mama and my brother and my sister.
Home and told all the jokes.
I could recite the shit like almost verbatim. Like I'm telling you, I was there at 5 years old. I was in the chairs laughing. Hey, and side note, this shit was so funny. People was literally falling out in the aisles. That's what I remember. Like that's the shit I remember the most from that event. People were literally.
I was telling the opening jokes with the monkey in the tree and
the monkey in the tree. Yeah. No. That's about that was a Dolomite joke that he stole, and he way down in the jungle deep, a lion stepped on a signified monkey's feet. Because I used to watch Dolomite. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I grew up watching blaxploitation. Hey man, that's one of the good things they did. I ain't gonna even hold you. I love my mama for letting me watch Dolomite.
and what are the Terminator and all of these things when we was way too young to be watching this shit?
Was I way too young? I felt like it was okay. It was the part that because she would let us watch it and she wouldn't be there with us. That was the bad part. Yeah, I watched Red Fox. What? Did I watch Red Fox? What? Yes.
Cracker, my friend, in the hood.
I love Red Fox.
That's the problem.
Red Fox was the funniest nigga on the planet to me. He was.
No, absolutely.
Red Fox was funnier than Eddie Murphy to me at one point in time.
If we had this conversation with white folks that grew up in the same time, they would have no idea what we're talking about.
Oh no, yeah, they don't know.
They didn't see Predator in the theater. They didn't see
You don't think so? I think white people I think their kids was latchkey kids too.
Remember.
Oh, see, I didn't.
They damn sure didn't have their kids at Eddie Murphy Raw.
No, they didn't have Eddie Murphy Raw, but I think their kids was latchkey kids too. I think they was out there. I think they was out there living very similar lives in that regard. But let me read these real quick. Therese said, "Oh shit, hold on. Y'all don't want to hear me. You just want to dance." They said to drop auxiliary cord. I couldn't take it no more. Therese said, admitting that you are racist is a part of being anti-racist. Exactly, Therese. And that's the first way for you to spot a white T person that hasn't started being anti-racist. When they go, I'm not racist, or we're all racist. What? We? Who the fuck is we?
Is there more to this story than a tangent of how you guys took your kids to see Eddie Murphy Raw when they were 5? I mean, I know you were going somewhere with this.
I was saying that my mother took me to go see that type of stuff, but the difference is that I could go see that and it didn't warp my brain. Like my brain wasn't warped because I went and watched Eddie Murphy Raw. My brain was warped by the things that I experienced, in my day-to-day life and the abuses that I suffered, you know what I'm saying, as a youth. That's what warped my brain more than anything. But
Eddie Murphy Raw actually explained things to me that, you know what I'm saying, like formed how not to be as a grown up. Like when he was having the conversation about Lilith, you can't use the phone no more. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the phone ringing. That's not me. Like, I was like, damn, that's fucked up. I'm never going to be that person. So if anything, it positive impact, not a negative one. Lillian, yes, I apologize, Lillian.
Trying to figure out the relevance to some of this, but yeah, yeah.
How do you not understand what we're saying?
You asked me if I had a daughter or a kid.
I just told you, sir. I told you. I brought all of that up to say that you asked me, where does my son see this stuff at? And I already walked you through that.
No, I know, but if I hadn't asked you that, you were still going somewhere. I derailed it.
Where I'm going with it is that you learn it in society. You don't. There are. What do you think is?
I mean, I'm saying, even if kids didn't grow up with iPads and stuff and were sheltered, they could still.
I know they still could be racist, and they more than likely still would be. But what I'm saying is who determines or what determines the outcomes of children? Like, what is one of the largest?
Education.
You said what?
Education.
No.
The outcomes of children, what they're taught, what people tell them how to act and behave, and how to. No.
Their friend group.
Okay, I guess that's
their friend group.
What they're told.
No, don't try to loosely link it in. Their friend group, who their friends are. See what I'm saying? Not their educate. That's too vague. I'm saying it's their friend group. It's their peers, right? So I have been working overtime to teach my son good qualities and how to be an upstanding citizen and a good person and all of that stuff. And his mom has been working overtime to do the same thing, right? Cool. Then he goes to school. You see what I'm saying? Then he goes to school. Or is everybody teaching their kids that? Probably not.
No. And he spends more time with those kids at school than he does with his parents or anyone else.
Yep. So his peers, you have to, and then you add to that the stuff he is learning at school. So when my son comes home from school, I have to teach. I have to like when my son learns stuff, like I see his curriculum and stuff like that. I'm like, what did you learn? I ask him, I don't know if I ask my son all the time, what did you learn today? And he says what he learned. Like, oh, okay. But I question what he learns all the time. What did you learn? What did you think about that? And I don't start I just start asking him like to think it through and where did you think that that sounded good, and then if it needs to be checked, I check it. If it doesn't, I let it go. But I'm always, what is going into my son's brain, into his body? I'm always concerned about that.
I take it a step further, Bob. I say, hey, what did you learn from your teachers today? And then they tell me. And I said, what did your friends say to you today? Dead ass.
Yep. That has to be asked. That has to be asked. What did you and your friends talk about? But my son is in front of me all the time. He's in front of my wife all the time. When he's on his iPad, and he only watches YouTube on our TV. We see everything. He talks to his friends. He talks to his cousins and his friends on FaceTime or whatever on his iPad. He's right in front of, like, he doesn't escape to his room. Like, I hear all of his conversations. I hear everything that he's saying. Right. And when he does something out of line, hey, no, you don't talk to her like that. You don't say that. Okay, Dad. Go ahead, BBG.
BBG hasn't unmuted. Can I soapbox for like 3 seconds?
Go ahead, brother.
It's not gonna be long, I promise. I'll make it as short as possible.
Bet.
Okay, all right. You're welcome, baby. Sorry, my daughter. Y'all, start supporting Black creators. Pub comes on here every single day and addresses, you know what I'm saying, the woes in society driven by men. Meanwhile, with you know, anywhere from 500 to 800 people watching. Meanwhile, there's white creators with 1,200 subs and 2,000 people watching. We're talking about marginalized groups of people without any of those marginalized groups of people present, and far devoid of having any understanding of how those marginalized people are affected.
I do be seeing those lives though. I'm like, wait, they talk about us. Wait a minute.
You talking about like donating and stuff to him, Mr. Jones? Just in general.
He just said support. Hey, you know what's the most? Hey, I ain't gonna even hold you though. You know what's the most cracking this live right now on all the TikTok. I ain't gonna even hold you. That one live, I wish I knew her name. But y'all know, if you know, you know. The prompt is women divorce your MAGA husbands. That's my favorite fucking live.
I go on there as a panelist on occasion.
Mm-hmm. Reggie, yep.
Yeah. But my point is like, yeah, the gifts help the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
The tapping helps the algorithm. The sharing helps the algorithm. The participation in terms of requesting on the live helps the algorithm. You're not always gonna be let up, but the requests help, right? But it's crazy to me that I keep seeing people that I know are supporters, that I know watch myself in public lives act wildly differently in other people's spaces.
Mm. Mm.
And so in my Discord, and I know how you feel about Discord, Puff. I know how you feel about Discord. I get it. Cool. Myself and my spouse posted a message today. If we see you in other lives of problematic people, we're going to remove you from our spaces.
Damn.
On all platforms.
Does that mean even if you talk against those people, or are you talking about supporting them? What does that mean?
Supporting them.
Okay.
If we see you in lives where it's constant, like marginalized groups are constantly being talked about, and there's none of those marginalized people being represented, gone. If we see you in spaces where they're doing call out lives and not call in lives, gone. If we see you in spaces where they're constantly platforming problematic people as like a friendly, gone.
Mm-hmm.
Gone. See ya.
Yeah, it's some weird people on this motherfucker. I've seen it all. I've definitely seen all of that, especially this week. Or the last 7 days. I'm gonna say last 7 days. I've seen some crazy shit.
My issue, listen, I ain't never gonna tell you who to follow, who to like, you know what I'm saying, who to gift, who to be around, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, do your hey, look, do your thing. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, do your big one, friend. However, there's people that spend more time on TikTok chatting about, you know what I'm saying, being an advocate and, liberation and blah, blah, blah. And I ain't never seen you in the streets, nowhere, no time, no how, no way.
Mm-hmm.
So do us all a favor. Shut the fuck up. Literally. You ain't advocating for shit.
Factuals. Is BPG back? Let BPG get up in this thing.
Here.
I know.
I'm a good student. I wait for my turn.
I told you that.
I wait for my teacher.
Yeah. No, you good. I said BPG go on ahead.
Steal my labor anyway.
There you go.
When we talk about racism and how like it affects it affects us, especially through media, I think it was funny that it went completely over Pinhead's brain, that a lot of this stuff is like extreme propaganda that we don't notice is happening while it's happening, which I'm pretty sure was the point of you mentioning like robots and Minecraft and all that stuff, because a lot of this stuff is happening above what most people's comprehension of what, you know, of what it is. Like you see these things on a consistent basis. It's never going to be a cartoon where you just blatantly see like, hey, we're better than black people because of blah, 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 blah. That's not what you're going to see. You're going to see all these different like little markers and little cues that clue you into maybe this is about black people, maybe it's not, but it's never going to blatantly say that. And I was going to get you funny, but it's never going to say that outright. And I think that for most people, the reason why they are able to personally disconstruct whatever oppressive systems they uphold, then it's because of the fact that they don't notice that those things are happening in real time.
Mhm.
And in order to even be able to really recognize it, you have to, and I do tell people that, and they think it's deep, but you have to study these things on a consistent basis in order to be able to know. I'm lucky. That's literally the reason why I requested it. As soon as I heard media, I was like, oh, I felt like Lil Wayne. I was like, oh, I heard you was looking for me, because we already know when you start talking about media and how it affects the mind, that's absolutely my area of expertise, for sure. That is my area of study. So when we talk about propaganda and how we've all been sort of propagandized, whether it be
all of us. Hold on. Say it again, BPG. Who been propagandized?
Of us.
All of us. Okay. That's what I thought.
All of us.
Mm-hmm.
There is no such thing as if the parents change their mind and they decide to be good people, then somehow, you know, the kids can escape it. No, because it's in your media, it's in your music, it's in
your soup, it's in your cereal.
It literally is in your soup and in your cereal.
It's everywhere.
You know what? I had to do a project for one of my classes for my master's program. And the entire class was about propaganda, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it talked about Edward Bernays, and he talked about how the way that he convinced women to start using Betty Crocker products, and if you look at my profile picture, it says it right there, was just to add an egg. The reason why was because there were women who were housewives who felt like they weren't doing their part, quote unquote. They weren't still upholding those same gender ideas. So they weren't still holding up those gender roles. Mm-hmm. And the way that they convinced those women to participate was by adding an egg. You just add an egg, women will buy it. Do you know that the purchase of those Betty Crocker kits skyrocketed because of the fact that they added an egg? Literally.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. I thought that was one of the most amazing things in society. Because I don't know how y'all be thinking about this shit, but when you think about like Nostradamus, and you think about like Leonardo da Vinci and like all these predictions that they made or whatever, the way that like people think that they're like clairvoyant, right? They think like they're spiritual and God. I don't think that. I just think that people like Bernays, and I think that there's people like that. They just they might have been autistic because the pattern recognition is fucking ridiculous. But I just think that they recognize something, like they understand the human psyche better than, you know what I'm saying, way better than the average person. And then they just figure out some way. In this case with Bernays, he figured out a way to monetize it. I think that's what it is. Like, because I'm like, how would you? In 1,000 years, I never would have thought to do that.
But you know what? It was very simple, though, because they knew that all humans needed was some kind of a social cue in order for them to be able to connect one thing with another thing. It's the same reason why your cell phone has a ring option. You don't actually need a ring option for your cell phone, but they intentionally attach that sound to a phone so that you understand that, you know, okay, somebody is calling me, because you got vibrate, you have all kind of options. You don't actually need a cell phone that has the phone ringing option, because that bell was there on purpose. That bell was there because of the fact that your phone didn't do other things. So you had to know that somebody was calling you.
You don't need that on your phone. And a lot of those like those small social cues, they're intentionally made in a way where you start to connect those things together. And most people don't realize that the things that they connect with race or the things that they connect with gender have social connotations that are attached to them based on the system at large. Mm-hmm. But you can't recognize them if you don't do what? Read or study on them.
Mm-hmm. I have a real question.
Go ahead.
You get them hair plants yet? Like, is that, you get them hair plants yet?
I don't need them. Not yet. One day. I don't know what I'm gonna do if I go bald, man. I really don't.
Be bald? Like, what the fuck you mean?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever gonna come home. I think I'm just gonna have that little patch in it. I can see why Trump do what he do. Because I think I just want a little hair on top somewhere. Just a little bit. I don't know, man.
You can get you some of that spray on fiber, bro. You be fine.
Yeah, not yet. Maybe though. Maybe. I just got a big ass forehead, but as of now.
There's no chance. So do I. There's no chance of you ever gonna be. Hey, listen, the insults that get thrown at me on such a regular basis, I just think, like, somebody saying that your wife is not an attractive person is absolutely batshit crazy to me. Is there something wrong with your oculars?
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about my wife?
Yes, your wife.
Oh, people be talking. Well, yeah, people just be saying shit. I don't be paying attention to that shit, man. You know, people.
Somebody said Jones veneers are yapping. Hey, listen, I have the best looking teeth in the business, and I'm not bothered by it.
That's good, man. Yellow chick, what's good with you?
I'm good. What's up, Jones? What's up, BPG? What's up, Pub? I see Pad at the bottom there.
You ain't got to say hi to that nigga.
First of all, it's always
hi.
It's always hard to go behind BPG, but I'm telling you, she always be coming with that real shit. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
My brain was turning the whole time you were going. My synapses were going off. Everything was like connecting, things that didn't quite connect, but I had that over here. I had it over there, but I didn't see how they went together. Like, you had all that shit going on in my brain, but I appreciate you, and I love you for it. It's hard to go behind you.
Justified glazing. That's what the kids call that. That's justified glazing right there. It's always good to glaze BPG. That's what I'm saying. We love it. Go ahead. We listening.
All right, so I actually came up, or I put my request up, 9 years ago and stuff. But
I hate when y'all do that shit.
But I think a discussion at the time when this dude was trying to, I guess it wasn't even him, it was the other weirdo that was below him. It's kind of weird, but it was trying to prove that the patriarchy isn't a thing here in the United States, and that the laws that exist here have somehow abolished or diminished or prevented or whatever, and patriarchy ain't happening in that way, whatever. And I really wanted to use one human being as an example to say, yes, the patriarchy is alive and running and kicking and doing its bidding. And that person's name is Brock Turner.
Oh, he's a motherfucker. That's a good one to bring up too.
Yes. And I want to bring up Brock Turner in a different way. And if y'all don't know who Brock Turner is, your head has been in the sand. But anyway, this was the college student that was
not his name no more. He changed his name, by the way.
What?
Oh, I don't know what it said. What's his name now?
I said, I don't know.
He changed it. That's why he changed it.
Well, the grapist formerly known as Brock Turner, in case y'all don't know, was the guy that was the college swimmer. Great to go behind the dumpster. And when it was all said and done, he was found guilty, and then sentenced to a whopping 90 days because the major concern was we did not want to ruin his life.
Yep.
Right? And he's a person that's usually brought up in these conversations for the purposes of talking about how women don't have value and all of the things. We've heard all of them already. What I want to do is spin it a little bit different and talk about the fact that this happened in the way that it happened because his victim was a woman. It would not have been only 90 days if his victim was a man.
Ah, you ain't lying.
And that is how we know that the patriarchy is live and kicking, because we use him to talk about what if he was black? Then what would have happened? What if he was this? What if he was that? So no, instead of changing Brock, let's leave Brock alone. Let's leave Brock alone. There Brock stands. Let's change Brock's victim. When we change Brock's victim and make it somebody in his cohort who is a boy, a man.
Can I ask you a question?
90 days.
Do you think that he would have got the same time if it was a little girl?
No, he would have gotten way more time.
Wait.
No, he wouldn't have.
That's what I got him. That's what I was about to say.
I gotta sit in that for a minute.
Not only that.
I don't think he would have gotten more time.
The young lady that he essayed was a minority. That's number one.
Yep.
Number two, had it been a little girl, he probably wouldn't have seen any time, because they would have found, his attorney would have found a loophole to say that, you know what I'm saying, it
was consensual.
What was happening.
Right. Yeah.
Little kids have less protections than adults. So
okay, all things being equal, which it couldn't be, right? I think that Mr. Jones is first absolutely correct. I think he would have just gotten away with it because they would have thrown the little girl's testimony out and made her testimony seem unreliable. But let's say by some magic of the judicial system, he actually was found guilty, and we're talking specifically about sentencing, right? I think the likability and innocence look of the girl would determine whether or not he got more or less. So if she was a very pretty, a little doll-looking thing, a John Bonet, if you would, I think he would have gotten more time. But then again, where's the unaliver of Jean Bonet?
Technically, and he put her whole children in the dirt and still.
That's why I'm like, I don't know, man. I be feeling like they don't really give a fuck about them kids. I don't know. I think it's just mad. So I think if it's a white man, he good. I think he's straight. It don't matter. He can do it to anybody. But to your point, Yellow Chick, he can do it to anybody but a white man. That's what you're right. That's the thing that's the point. Yeah.
That's the point.
I think he could have done it to a little girl. I think he could have done it to a little white girl. I think he could have done it to a white woman. It'd have been pretty much the same outcome. But if he did it to a white T man, now we own to something. That's a great point. That now we
Listen, now we cooked it with grease. That's what my daddy used to say.
Now it would have been a little different. Oh, they said he going by his middle name now, Alan Turner. Yeah, keep an eye out for Alan Turner. He blonde. When they arrested him, he looked like a goddamn marsupial. He was looking like this. When they got, I said, yeah, he did it. But you know what though? If you arrest any man for damn near any crime, I be believing they did it. Like, I don't know what it is about mug shots, because niggas just be distraught. Like, if you look too relaxed, I'll be like, oh, see, that nigga too relaxed. He did it. If you looking scared, I'll be like, see, that nigga looking scared. That nigga did that shit. Like, I don't know, something about mug shots and men. Like, as soon as I see a man in a mug shot, I will find a way to find him guilty. Like, nah.
If I get arrested, I'm gonna smile.
You did it. Oh, you smiled. You did that shit. You did that shit.
Listen, they won't let you. Don't ask me how I know. But anyway, on we go. They won't let you smile for your mugshot.
I've been arrested for impeding an investigation, for civil disobedience, for trespassing, protesting, for assaulting. Damn. Thing that you can associate with, you know what I'm saying, like civil actions or social justice actions, I've been arrested for. I haven't caught up to MLK yet, but I'm on my way.
MLK got arrested every day. MLK used to go outside and be like, today's a good day to get arrested. And he was set out to go get arrested by somebody.
62 times is crazy, bro.
He did that. That's every goddamn week for a year. That nigga just was like, we just go, I'm gonna figure it out. I ain't been arrested today, but I'm gonna figure it out. It's 6 o'clock. We got a little time left. We can go somewhere, especially doing Jim Crow. He figured it out. I love that though.
I'm curious if Pinhead thinks that the outcome would have been different if it was a white statement.
Wait. Go ahead. What would you say, Yellow Chick?
I said, I'm interested in if Pinhead thinks the outcome would have been different for Brock if the victim was a Wahite boy, a Wahite man like himself. young white heat taking.
I think it would be impossible to actually know because there's lots of cases where, you know, white people, you know, do crimes and they get all types of punishments. But what I think, I don't know. First of all, I disagree heavily, as everyone should, that 90 days is just a slap on the wrist. You should be, I mean, if it was up to me, he wouldn't be here no more. But it's not up to me.
I can line up 9 separate grave cases right now of black men versus white men. 9. Just off the top of my head, 9, where they had similar backgrounds, like both of the accused, the perpetrators, had similar backgrounds, similar, you know what I'm saying,
charges,
histories, what have you, charges, what have you, and then show you the disparity in sentencing. In addition to that, I can line up probably 200 armed robberies or physical assault charges, white men to black men. And I can show you where white men got significantly less time in prison. And I'm talking about, it's not even close. We're talking about like a year or 2 years to 15, 20, 25.
Oh, I know. Hella, I personally know black people in jail for like selling like smugs. And they've been in jail since the 90s. And I'm like, what? They locked the homie daddy up. The homie daddy, so 2 off-duty police officers tried to rob him, and he clipped them both. Then he ran. He was on America's Most Wanted. They caught him. He been in jail since 91, I want to say 91, 92, somewhere around there.
Wait, does that mean you unalived them? What did you say?
Oh yeah. Listen to what I'm saying. 2 off-duty police officers tried to rob him because he was doing stuff.
So it was really self-defense.
Yeah, and they gave that man. They've been saying every year he's supposed to be up for parole already. He already served the time. They just keep denying him parole on top of everything. Over 30 years now in prison for self-defense. Crazy. Like it was actually corroborated. Like the story, everything in court, everything came out. Everything. They was robbing people. The police was dirty. Everything. This is during the 90s. It was like Ramparts Division, LA, like crazy shit. He unalived them. They tried to rob him. He unalived them both. And then he ran, of course. Fucking who wouldn't run? He ran. He was on America's Most Wanted. They caught him like 2 weeks later and locked him up. And he been in prison for 34 consecutive fucking years.
Our president.
Shit is crazy.
34 felonies.
And he's president.
Liable for rape. And have 26 other accusers.
He's
not white privilege. What the fuck is it?
Hey, yellow chick. And that's the thing that be making me mad about the racist white tea people, how they be talking about Epstein and the pedophiles and all of that stuff. And then the whole time it be them.
It be them the whole time.
That's why I don't like Pinhead. When you say when white people, specifically white men, be like, I would bury him if they did. Stop lying. No, you would.
No, you wouldn't. You would find an excuse. You would find an excuse. You would say all the reasons as to why you don't know. Listen, what I want to understand is all this smoke for how do we know if we believe her, but no smoke for how do I know if I believe him?
Make it make sense.
Oh no, let's test this theory. Hey, Pinhead. Did Donald Timothy Trump rape E. Jean Carroll?
He was definitely found liable for it. I don't know if he actually raped her.
He did.
That's not the question I asked you.
I think there's a difference between being found civil.
Nah, this ain't got nothing to do with court. Did he rape her? In your mind? Hold on, let him answer. In your mind, did he do it?
No, I don't think so. There it is, because it took 20 years to come out after he was running for president to do it.
As if that matters. As if that matters.
That's not how it happened at all.
Wait, y'all. Wait.
It did. She waited 20 years. That is how it happened.
Mr. Pinhead, if you would. Mr. Pinhead, if you would.
I love it.
Do you believe, hold on now, do you believe that those priests in the Catholic Church did those things to those little boys that they said that they did?
Oh, I'm sure they did.
There was tons of little boys, altar boys, that came out
sure,
and said.
I don't know what case, but I'm sure they probably did.
Okay, but they came out 20 years later.
Shit, 50, nah, yellow chick, 50 years later. A lot of them was like,
people extremely rich.
You see what I'm talking about? No, shut up, Pinhead. Look, you see what I'm talking about? You got all the stuff from me.
Hold on.
hold on, let her finish. Let her finish. Let her finish. Let her finish. Let her finish.
Let me land my point.
That was a good point.
Right? My point was, who's the victim? I told you that if the victim was a boy, y'all ready to believe it. When the victim is a girl, it's not. And there goes your patriarchy.
And racism. Yellow, and the racism. He did it both. He knocked them both out the park. Go ahead, John.
Let's put the icing on the cake. Let's put the icing on the cake. Did Diddy do it?
Did he do it? Oh, I think so.
Did it? But Trump didn't.
Who is the victim?
We're not looking at the victim like you say.
Did it, but Trump didn't.
We keep talking about who is the assailant.
I'm done.
Who's the victim?
I'm done.
Looking at the victim.
I'm gonna try to save you. Did Bill Cosby do it?
You already tried to get me with that. Nice try.
Did Bill Cosby do it?
You guys did this thing in a few lives ago with me, so I'll just say no because I know what you guys did last time.
Bill Cosby didn't do it.
But if I say yes, you'll just laughing. If I say yes, it'll be a
Oh.
Because
It's not about the victim, ma'am.
it is because my mama also pointed something out, but I would like to point something out. So my mama said, "How is that possible that you believe that Trump didn't?" And he used to hang with Diddy. Never mind that. Never mind that he was in conversation, friendship, cool with, locked arms with.
Definitely been at them freaky ass parties with.
Well, prove that he went to the party.
But also, it further reiterates Yellow's point because don't ever forget that the reason why there are a lot of men who don't believe Bill Cosby but do believe Diddy is because of the fact that he also had male victims. There is something that happens in the male psyche where when they hear that a man has been violated in that way, they don't question it at all whatsoever because they understand that in a patriarchal system, when you are talking about a man being feminized, that's the worst thing that he can do. To become female is the worst thing that he can do. So a man would never lie in this kind of system about whether or not he has been quote unquote emasculated by another man, and that's why they believe that immediately.
You know what's interesting about that too? You made me remember it. So Terry Crews, right? The men's always believed Terry Crews did get groped by that man. They believed it, but they shamed him.
They did. They believed it, but they didn't understand why he didn't fight it.
They never said it didn't happen.
They said that he should have stood up for himself. They said that they don't understand why he was big and strong enough to be able to combat that, and he didn't. They didn't even go as far as to say that this does not happen. They said that it happens.
Yep.
And with Ted Cruz, they made fun of him because of the fact that he allowed for himself to become female.
Yep. He
allowed for himself to be able to be assaulted in a way that is only exclusive to women. That's a woman's thing, being assaulted.
Yep.
That's hers for the taking. That's hers.
I would also ask why.
As a man, you're not supposed to have that.
They said, you too big, Terry. Why you should have knocked this block off. Terry said, and what? Never be able to feed my family again?
Listen, y'all.
Never get another job again in Hollywood?
Let me be selfish, y'all. I'm trying to get my follows up, y'all. If y'all could follow me, if you're not already following, that's neither here nor there. I'm just trying to do a selfish little commercial for myself, y'all. If you're not already following, if you could follow me, please try to get my follows up. But go ahead.
Black Star said his is Pinhead indeed. Thank you, Kate. Kate said, love your content. I appreciate it. But this is crazy. You know what's wild about this is witnessing this in real time. You know what I'm saying? Like really, like
I told you I was about to do it though.
That was crazy. Like when Yellow set it up and then you like then BP like this shit, seeing this in real time is wild. Like
it's beautiful. Send us the clip.
It's a beautiful clip. It's crazy. I love it.
Great clip.
That was crazy. Because How can you get out of that? How do you rationalize that? Like Trump didn't do it, but did? What the fuck?
Because who is the victim? We always talk about who's the assailant.
Oh my God. That was beautiful.
You also have to ask if there's any motive to gain. Of course there wasn't in Trump's case.
Hold on, I have a question for you. I got another victim of Trump's that went on record and said he raped her.
Hold on, can we?
Hold on, wait.
I don't want to move on. From that.
I'm not. I'm on that.
Why. Oh, huh?
I'm on that.
I want to know. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm on that. I'm saying I got another question for you. Did Trump grape his ex-wife, who said he raped her under oath?
I don't know the intricacies of the case, but I don't. Did he grape his ex-wife? I would be more likely to believe that. I could explain why. I don't, because of the big time difference. I think that makes a big difference.
There was a big time difference between when that happened.
How long?
They were divorced. It happened, like, who knows? They were married.
They already had 3 children.
They already had kids and shit. It was fucking 15 years later when she told it, because it came out in the deposition. In the divorce, like,
so
what?
Why would you wait 15 years to tell?
That question annoys me.
Why she was getting a divorce?
Sure, if it annoys you or not.
Why doesn't
I
the
can't.
question apply to the altar boys?
What do you mean? What motive?
When I say something,
Weren't the altar boys
like, what do you mean?
children when it happened? Hold on, were they children or not children when that happened? Why would children lie?
Oh, okay.
Why would women lie?
Children.
But wait.
Monetary gains is near Trump.
They sued the Catholic Church. There was money involved.
The little boys or the parents sued the Catholic Church? Maybe.
As adults, they sued them. As adults, they sued them. Yes. And they paid them too. They won. They got money.
Can we talk about how the E. Jean Carroll case actually played out?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. E. Jean Carroll wrote a book. And in the book, she told her story. She didn't go after Trump. She didn't file any lawsuits against him. He went after her.
Ain't that some shit? Are you going to say that she put it in the book to sell books?
So I don't know. What did she write the book about? What did she
About
write?
her life.
And in the book, what did it say about Trump?
What happened to her?
That he raped her, bro. Come on. E. Jean Carroll.
No. I mean, let's just like if you didn't do something and something was written about you that said you did, would you fight back?
Oh my God.
Of course. And then
Of course, so if Trump
hold on. Pause. And then afterwards, after he kept defaming her in public, saying that he didn't do it and saying that she was too ugly for him to have raped and blah 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 and so on and so forth.
Common grapist tactic, by the way. She's too ugly.
She said, okay, cool, no problem. I kept the dress. It has your DNA on it. Give us your DNA sample.
He said no.
So we can test it. And he said, nope. Now let me tell you what. I would be at fucking LabCorp.
Yep.
Or whatever the fuck I
Yep.
would camp outside that bitch.
Yep.
The first person who shows up with a set of keys,
Let
as soon as
me
they
in.
turn the lock, I'm gonna knock their ass, slam out the way, and dive headfirst into that bitch to make sure that I clear my name.
Swab my mouth easily.
Swab anything, whatever you need to swab.
Swab it.
Because I don't, me and my family be in the car while I get online. And my mama over here dropping a little tea, a little nuggets. What did you just? She said it's a pyramid because that whiteness makes it linear. It's a pyramid, not like it's both gender and race.
Of course, yep.
That's why Bill Cosby went to jail
Mhm.
and you didn't. That's true. That's why. That's literally why. Because Hugh Hefner, that stuff that was Bill Cosby and what's that?
Don Cornelius. Hey. Hey, Bill, I was about to say that. They was hunching at Hugh house. How Bill go when Hugh was the nigga at the top of the pyramid? Bill learned it from Hugh. I believe he got turned out at a Hugh Hefner party. That's what I honestly think. I think he really
facilitated it too. Hugh Hefner
he would bring, absolutely.
He was full supply of the women,
The smugs. Yep.
and the drugs,
Yep.
and the police. Remember, because when
Yep.
women would come forward, they had places that they could take them to. They had
Yep.
police officers on payroll, and they had a hidden hospital. They had a hidden hospital.
Oh yeah, that was in that special. Hey man, that was diabolical. Hugh Hefner was diabolical. That man never. I didn't start learning about how crazy he was until he was dead. I didn't even know till he died, and then everybody was like, "Now we can talk." They started talking.
Never served one day.
Like I don't want to hear.
Accused and was never accused.
Never. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I never saw it. And by the way, Hugh Hefner's mansion was in Beverly Hills. It was in LA. It wasn't in no fucking podunk, slow ass backwoods. It wasn't in fucking the hills of the Ozark. That shit was in Beverly Hills.
It sat on the corner of the street.
Like, goddamn, it was a house of horrors. And he never, come on, man. You can't tell. Y'all can't tell me white men can't get away with every fucking. This shit is crazy.
And all these big, strong protector men used to ride past that house, and you could ride past and hear the screams, and nobody came in to rescue none of the women. When those men would come in, they never. And this is the part that always trips me out the most about men who are like the Diddy's, the Bill Cosby's, the L.A. Reeds, if you want to stay black, or the Hugh Hefner's,
L.A. Reid.
What's the director?
Harvey Weinstein.
All of these guys, the thing that trips me out the most is that they were surrounded by men who not only they saw the thing happening, they experienced the thing from these men, because a lot of these men were assaulted as well. And instead of them choosing to be better or do better, they just started to perpetuate the same ideas.
Yep. Hold on, wait, no. We gotta throw old boy from Nickelodeon in there.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's the demon. That nigga was that dude.
I'm gonna throw something in which y'all may not realize because I'm a little older and I understand the connection of this.
Older.
Shut up.
She is not
People are shocked at the age now, but the legal age to drink, and that's what really establishes adulthood. When I came up, the legal age to drink was 18.
That's
That
true.
meant a Playboy playmate, a Playboy bunny. The average age of a Playboy bunny was 19 years old.
That's true.
Gross. And Hugh Hefner was 58 in 1972. So he was an old ass, dirty ass man already.
And they were literally plucking these kids straight out of high school graduation, these girls.
Some of them before.
Said some of them before.
But hold on, to add on to that, Mama BPG, to add on to that, in the 90s, a man by the name of Donald Jimothy Trump was a brokey. He had squandered all his money. And guess what he did? He linked up with a man by the name of Sean Combs. And they started bringing in models from foreign nations who are underage and having them compete in
pageants.
Not even pageants. Just contests on yachts in front of rich men.
So how Diddy going down but not Trump?
Because, well, if I could just throw my little, I just well mercy, y'all. But if I could just throw my little piece in, because y'all talk about systemic racism, but you got to be about the control of systemic wealth. Is that regardless how many times a potentially white wealthy man fails, they're still going to be envisioned as wealthy, even once they don't have any money.
Facts. That's facts. Yeah. Hey, Black.
I stand on Diddy is going down because his victims were men. If all of his victims were young black women,
he never would have been locked up.
Same situation as Trump.
I don't even know how R. Kelly in jail right now.
Listen, because R. Kelly kept trying it. Like R. Kelly had a whole tape where he sprayed a golden shower all over a minor and got off. Like, we forget that we built this.
But Yellow Chick, don't forget that because it started coming out that R. Kelly was doing that to men as well.
You don't say.
you called that because it did come forward that R. Kelly was not only doing this to young girls, but he was also doing this to young men and older and men his age.
Now trapped in the closet, making a lot more sense now.
He did. He had deviant behavior, period. And that's when you started to see the tide shift because again, men cannot fathom. They think it is absolutely disgusting, the idea of violating a man. But when you talk about violating a woman or a young girl, that is just a part. That's a part of our makeup to be at. Because even if you listen to how dudes talk about their relationships, the way that they talk about their relationships, they are having sexual relationships to the women in their lives that they chose to marry, that they dated, that they courted, went through the dad, all of this other vetting garbage that they be talking about. They did all of this process to be able to have access to a woman, but not to have that experience with her. So when you talk about men being held responsible for the crimes against women, it is usually always attached to how have they harmed another man as well.
Always. Yep. Somebody, wait, real quick. Somebody said, R. Kelly started doing it like too out in the open. Just so y'all know, he married Aaliyah in 1997, like 1996. He married Aaliyah. Like he married a child. What do you mean? He didn't start to do it too out. He started off doing it in the open. The video came out in 2001. He started out in the 94. He started out in the open. You know what I mean? Like it didn't become more brazen. He was brazen the whole time. That's not the reason why he got caught. To this day, that's the BBG is the first person I ever heard say it came out that he was messing with me. That's the only thing that makes sense because I never understood. I was like, why now?
Because this is the thing, as Black people, we always address the race before we address the misogyny.
Mm-hmm.
We always address the race before we address the misogyny. So when we see a Black man, we're like, oh, it's a Black man went down. But we never ask who was the victim.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The victims matter.
The victim matters.
The victim matters. Mm-hmm. This we can go. I can go crazy. I can go Serial Unalivers, Gary Ridgway, the Grim Sleeper out in LA. You know what I mean? You can go to many.
Because if it was all about race, you said Brock Turner, the girl was a minority, but I always thought that it was also another Wahite girl. There's another case, and I forgot his name, and it was another similar situation with a college situation. The guy graced the girl and stuff like that. They go through the whole trial. The man is found. They were like 18 or 19, both of them. He was found guilty, and the judge sentenced him to 0 and said, "I can't ruin his life." That judge, by the way, ended up losing his right to be a judge. But the point of the matter is, he did what he did, and the boy couldn't be retried. I'm gonna find that guy's name because it's escaping me right now, and it's a less known case than Brock.
Yeah, obviously, I never heard of it, but I believe it. See, that's the thing. Y'all can tell me anything, like, I'm so gullible when it comes to that type of stuff. Like, I'm cynical about a lot of things, but like, you can literally get on here and tell me anything. Like, yeah, it was this white man. He unalived 13 people in broad daylight, and they found him guilty. And you know what? How long they gave him? 17 months in a federal prison. And he got out in 14. But like, I'll be like, yeah, I believe that shit. I believe it.
In the comments,
affluenza. Yep. I have affluenza. Black Star said, I never needed research to know they did it. I know, but I'm trying to tell y'all. You tell me anything. I mean in general, by the way, but definitely white team. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things you can tell me about Black people, and I'll be like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't think they'll let a Black man get away with that. But you can tell me pretty much anything involving like kids or women, anything like that, men versus women. I will, on his face, it'll be hard. I believe that shit. Until further notice, I believe it. Because what? This shit almost always is the case. It's almost always the fucking case.
And when we look at it from the perspective of who was the victim, we got a couple rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
Women can always be sexually assaulted and Black men can always be unalived.
Yeah.
Okay? And those are the 2 rules. Mm-hmm. The rest of it does not matter.
What do you mean by that? Like, I agree with
like police brutality, like. Mm-hmm.
So somebody brought up Kyle Rittenhouse, right?
Yeah.
So Kyle Rittenhouse got away because, again, here's the victim. The victim were who?
Black people. Or it wasn't even just that, because some of them were white people too. It was their political leanings. It wasn't their race at that point. It was also their political leanings.
Supporters and lovers.
Yeah, and lovers, pretty much. Yeah.
You know, it's not 100% black and white, though, right?
Man. He's trying to tell us about the nuance. Motherfucker, we walking you down the nuance. We teaching you the nuance.
And himself against black people, you think, like, you want to be specific, though. You think that couldn't happen? That's what happened in
I didn't say it was black or white, because the Brock Turner situation is not a black-white situation.
No, I know, but you're mentioning Kyle Rittenhouse, and you're insinuating that he should have gone down for something.
Should Kyle Rittenhouse be in prison right now? Yes or no?
No.
That man, okay, let me ask you something.
Walk away. Because you're not found guilty of
Did that boy cross state lines with an assault weapon?
Are you talking about, yeah.
Did he cross state lines with
right? I'm trying to remember. He did, right?
Yes. Is that legal?
To cross state lines with a weapon? I don't know. I thought it's not legal? Okay.
It is not legal.
Okay. But does that mean that he wasn't
And the whole rest of it doesn't matter. See, the whole rest of it, we could go here, there, and wherever else you want to go with it. But for damn sure, at bare minimum, he is absolutely guilty of that. Now, we can sit here and play defense, self-defense, didn't know, did know, protecting myself, protecting property, blah, 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 blah. But what we do know is he absolutely crossed state lines with a weapon. And he was not even found guilty of that.
That's definitely not why.
Kelly,
there's no way you could have that much of a reaction for that. You guys think that he wasn't found, it wasn't self-defense and all that. There's more nuance that you guys don't believe.
What? I think Kyle Rittenhouse should be in jail for 50 years, if you ask me.
For crossing state lines with a weapon?
No,
Beyond that, let me tell you
So
something. Not only
why
him,
are you mentioning that if you
but
don't
his
believe
mama too. No. You're conflating what I said with what Public said. We're two independent people.
Yeah, I know. And I'm talking about, well, okay, I guess I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
No, so I was talking about crossing the state lines. He was talking about the schmurder. Right?
Well, in
but now you want to use what I said to go against what he said, and we were talking about two different things.
It wasn't self-defense. He should have never. Just so you know.
What self-defense in the case that you brought up earlier about the two
don't talk about the homie case. You don't know nothing about it. I know about Kyle Rittenhouse's case, and I know about the homie case. So you can't just use
Kyle Rittenhouse's case, not self-defense. Because they were black? That's what you're going to say, right?
No. All I said.
Listen to me. If all of Kyle Rittenhouse's victims were conservative Wahite people, and the entire thing played out just the same way, and it was conservative Wahite people, he still should have gone to jail. The action itself was not self-defense. He left his house with violence on mind.
Yeah, it was premeditated. It was premeditated. It wasn't no accident.
He didn't leave his house to hurt people.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
Why did he bring a big ass gun? Hold on, man. Hold on, wait. Kelly said, in the Bible, they only reacted when men were raped.
That's a fact.
Queen's Bree said the hypocrisy is diabolical. That's off the chart today. Teresa said Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison. None of the men are. Clock that T too.
Look, I'm not going to get all biblical, but here, the Sodom and Gomorrah is the story that they always love to use. What happened in that story, they went and bang on them people's house and was like, send your man out here. We want your man. And that man said, please don't take my man. I have daughters. Take my daughters instead.
Mm-hmm.
And that was found to be a good decision by God.
Yeah, they was raping the men in Sodom and Gomorrah for sure. That was a common practice. But also that was a common practice back then anyway. I ain't gonna even men was raping back then. They was raping men. It wasn't it was a common practice for men to rape men. Like that was, I mean, it still is. Men get raped often by other men. But yeah, this is crazy. Y'all gotta really, like, you know what? It's very interesting that Pinhead will say in one breath that he's not a racist YT person, but then, oddly enough, all of your views somehow, some way, protect racist YT people and racist YT policies. Appreciate it. Ain't that odd?
Because I think in these specific 2 or 3 cases of thousands and millions that we're talking about, I don't think.
I mean, these are very politicized cases that you conveniently are on the wrong side of time and time again. Appreciate you, Oscar.
I mean, I don't. If he was tried and not convicted, I'm gonna believe that. You want me to just believe the other way?
You're lying. You're lying.
I got one more.
Hold on, wait, no, wait, hold on, BBG, hold on, because I got it. Hold on, because this motherfucker lying through his teeth.
He is.
Is OJ guilty or not?
You already tried this with me.
I didn't try it with you. You already told me OJ wasn't guilty. You just said, oh, he was tried and he was found. Was OJ guilty or not?
I'm ignorant. I don't.
Nah, kick the same energy because that's not what you said the last time. Give me the same answer.
Yeah, I said last time I said he was guilty. Or I thought.
Oh, you did it? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you said he was guilty. My fault. Yeah, my fault. I thought you said, yeah, my bad. You did say he was guilty, but he was found innocent, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not right. I'm telling you what I think.
How come Trump can be found liable and you have questions, and OJ could be found innocent and you feel he's guilty?
Again, the Trump thing for me, like, it's not a man-to-woman thing, but damn sure if any crime was committed against me, I would follow up and persecute it within the next day.
Sir, that is not an answer to the direct question. The direct question is
into it. I would never wait 20 years.
Being found guilty has relevance, right? Why is it that when Trump was found guilty, right? He's found guilty. They held him liable and he was found guilty. They held him liable because he was found guilty.
Hold on, I got a question. Hold on, wait. I got a question for you, BBG. I'm sorry, not BBG. Pin, is Trump a felon?
Yes.
Okay. That was it. That was gonna be the one to make me lose it for real, because I was like, all right, this is getting crazy now. So Trump is a felon.
But again, why doesn't the 20, 30, 40-year wait apply to the altar boys?
Because I don't think as children they would have had like this. I mean, they wouldn't lie.
What happened between 18 to 50? They became adults at 18, didn't they? So when they were 12 years old and 13 years old and these things happened, why didn't they report it immediately upon their 18th and one-day birthday?
I don't know why. I would have.
This is what it requires in order to be believable, doesn't it?
You know, listen, I don't know why.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something right now. The longer people wait, the more I believe them.
Would you be inclined to believe people less if they reported it within a week or two? Why?
No. I believe people no matter what, but I'm telling you that for me, the longer you wait, the more, to me, the higher the likelihood is that the person did it. Because I'm like, who would lie about some shit that happened 30 fucking years ago? Like, that makes zero sense to me. I'm like, that's dumb as fuck.
If there was no motive, they wouldn't. But Trump was.
There's never a motive. There's never a motive.
The altar boys, they sued the Catholic Church.
Hold on, but wait, Yellow Chick. The reason why I disagree with that being, like, even calling that shit a motive, right? To me, in the most literal sense, you're right. Yeah, no, I understand. In the most literal sense, you are right. But hear what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. The reason why I won't even give that any fucking credence whatsoever. How hard is it to come out and accuse? We talk about the Catholic Church, by the way. If you want to, I don't even want to get specific, but if you want to talk about the Catholic Church specifically, how difficult let me ask y'all this. Do you think their lives got easier or harder? Even with the money, do you think their lives got easier or harder by coming out and fighting this case?
Way harder.
Okay.
You want to know something? There's a case
so where the fuck is the motive?
Case right now against Chicago. Okay? There's a case right now against Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the juvenile detention center and the young boys that have been.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that shit made. Oh my God, that shit made me so mad.
Yeah, you got
That shit made me so Yellow. That shit made me so fucking mad, dude. I watched all of those dudes give their testimonials. I was like, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God.
Do we not?
Oh, I 100% believe him. 100%.
Oh, me too, but Pinhead. Years.
I don't know about.
Let her. Oh no, tell it again. Tell him what it is again, and then see if it makes sense. Go ahead.
Okay, so Pinhead in Chicago, and so that you could get the visual. I think they're all black men, right?
They're all black. All the ones I saw were black men. Yeah.
Men. At least the ones that are at the forefront. If there's any white men, they're in the back. So, and white men never go in the back. So it must not be none. Because they would have made him the poster child.
I would have made him. I would have made him the poster child if I was a part of the group. I'd have been like, yeah.
Me too. Right? Because white men's word has credence.
Mhm.
Right? So put him in the front.
Hell yeah.
But either way, so all of these men are in their 30s and 40s now.
Yep.
In their 30s and 40s now, because they were juvenile delinquents, right? And they were put into the juvenile jail. They were in juvie. And while they were in juvie, they were assaulted.
Repeatedly.
Okay? Repeatedly throughout their entire sentence.
Yep.
Said nothing about it for decades.
Crazy.
And they have now come out together on a class action suit.
Yep.
Do you believe them or you don't?
I believe them. Now,
who is the victim? Meg.
Hey, you know what, Yellow Chick, you know what you should have did? You know what you should have did? Damn, I wish you would have told that story, but said it about change the men to women. And then when he said and then flip it and say, actually, it was me. Oh my God. Damn, that shit came to me late. Because I know good and goddamn well you said, I don't know, I need more evidence. And da-da-da-da-da. But then this man, he was like, no, I believe him, man. Yeah.
I mean, goodness, it doesn't really make the difference and doesn't prove my point. But if something happened to you today, public, and you got raped, would you tell someone right away or would you wait?
This feels like that joke that people say, like if I took you camping and you woke up with a condom in your butt, would you tell me? Nah, but I'm dead serious though. Hold on. Can you give me a second to think? Can you give me a second to think?
Well, you have to add, now it's not just who is the victim, now it's who is the assailant.
It doesn't matter. Well,
it does matter.
Going to be most of the time.
See, here's the thing. Whether or not the person is found guilty depends on who the victim is. Whether or not the victim comes out depends on who the assailant is.
Hey, man, if I get raped on some real shit in real time, trying to process that question on some real shit, if I get raped, there's a good chance that I won't say anything.
Would you ever? Or would there be
like publicly, I'm saying I would tell somebody, but I'm saying like publicly, like there's a good chance that I wouldn't say something. There's a good chance, and that ain't an invitation for y'all to try it either, because I ain't the one. But I'm just saying there's a good chance that I wouldn't say something. Yeah, I'm not even joking. I don't know. I could easily see myself being traumatized. Easily. I could easily see me being traumatized by it. Like, I like to think I'm strong and I like to think I'm whatever, but I could easily make the case in the other direction that I might not say shit for fucking 20 years. Like, and like easily.
You gotta get up and lead the app at that point too. Your TikTok days are over.
If I do it?
If you told?
Oh, if I tell, yeah, I'm done. I'm cooked.
Your TikTok days are done.
Yeah, I'm cooked. It's over. Yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, like I said, if we're being like, you want me to keep it a hundo, a stat, a bean. I can't say definitively, but I'm leaning towards there's a good chance that I wouldn't tell. There's a good look. And here's the thing. You just said great. You didn't say if it was by a man or a woman, because it don't even matter for me.
It's by a man the vast majority of the time.
So I know. No, I'm just saying to make the point. Like it really, for me, it wouldn't even matter if it was by a man or a woman. I would probably not. I would probably not tell in either case. But if it was a man, I'm able
to say vast majority of the time it's a man.
Easily.
Usually they start with it goes both ways at that point. But I'm glad you were able to say vast majority of the time it's a man.
Last question before there's new people on the panel. If you were robbed, would you tell someone right away?
Yeah, I would.
So what's the difference?
There's no shame associated with being robbed.
Yes, I would.
Sure there is. Rob just, why would you want that either?
Are you seriously comparing getting robbed to getting great?
These are two crimes and they both should be
Crimes?
They're not the same. So here's the thing.
Hey, hold on, wait. Wait. If I got robbed, there's a good chance that I would tell, like I said, when you say tell somebody, that's different. Would I tell the police in either case? Probably not. Look, I take it back. Hold on, wait. I take it back completely. If I got robbed, I 100% know I'm not going to tell the police if I get robbed.
You don't trust him, I get that, sure.
Nah, because they ain't going to do nothing about it. And then I don't trust them. They ain't going to do nothing about it.
You don't trust him to do anything about it.
I know they're not going to do nothing. Look, man, even with all, you already know how I feel about the police. They can't do anything about it. They don't have the resources. They ain't going to never catch that motherfucker. So I'm wasting my time. For what? Now, I may file a police report depending on what they took from me because I may have insurance and I may want to get that back, right? But if somebody robbed my person and took my fucking wallet and my fucking
all your shit.
Yeah, I have insurance on my, so yeah, I'm gonna tell them. Same thing with my car. I have insurance on my car. But I'm saying if they robbed me, if they took if they came in here and they took my fucking computer and my what, I wouldn't say shit, bro. That's an L. That's just an L. If they didn't break my window, because you got to pay to get your window replaced. If they just got in somehow, right? Didn't break shit, got in this motherfucker, took all my shoes. I would tell y'all. I wouldn't tell the police. Hell no. Hey, it is what it is. I've been robbed. I've been robbed at Pew Pew Point. I done have twice. Laid down, took our shoes, took the homie car keys, and took everything on us and ran away. And took what we came to give them. We came to sell them something that we shouldn't have been selling them. They rolled up on us, pulled out the whatever, robbed us. We had to get the homie mama to come bring the second set of keys so we could drive home. We had our fucking, we had to drive home in our socks. Surprised niggas didn't take our pants. We drove home in our socks. Then we went home. I got dressed. We went to the studio and made a song about it. Like, nigga, like, we told the hood. Everybody in the hood knew we got robbed. But we didn't know. I didn't think to go to the police. That was the last group of people I was thinking, like, I need to go tell the authorities. Like, fuck out of here. For what? Absolutely not, bro. Go ahead, sir. Sir Banks, go ahead, brother.
Well, I understand that. First of all, what's up to the panel? What's up to the host? How you feeling?
Feeling good, man.
If I'm understanding the question right, because I can't read the prompt right now because I'm doing some other things, but the thing is that if I got robbed, I ain't gonna lie, I'm with you, my man. I couldn't do it. I got robbed before, like you said. I got robbed by 3 people all at the same time for a leather coat. I mean, with my mouth, I was just like, okay, y'all can take this leather coat. But answer this question before y'all take this. What's that, man? What's that? You look at me answering you. What's up? Well, which one of y'all gonna wear it? Because you can't sell it on the street, and it's 3 of y'all, 1 coat. What's gonna do? My thing is, they got to arguing with each other, and then I just did. They got
hey, man, you started negotiating with your robbers? Nigga, I'd have gave them niggas that Avirex so fast. I'd have took that Avirex off my back so fast. That goddamn Wilson's leather jacket you had on, I'd have been like, here you go. Man. Y'all crazy.
But the thing is, this was only about, I would say, 1 minute away from my house. 1 minute. So it happens. And did I tell them?
Oh, I believe it, yeah. I believe it.
Why would I tell the cops? All I'm going to do is say, yeah, 3 guys was here, and if they got my coat, if they would have got my coat, they took my coat. Oh, okay, well, we'll make a report about it. We'll be on the lookout. No, you won't. No, you won't.
And then you're going to give them the description. Hey, you're going to tell them, you're going to give them the description. And then you're going to say it was 3 black men. You're going to describe them, right? Then a week later, they're going to pull your ass over and say you connected to a robber. You're going to be like, nigga, I got robbed. They're going to be like, you fit the profile. You fit the profile.
I've been pulled over by the cops for having loud music, and they pulled out their stuff. They pulled out their stuff because I had loud music. I'm in my driveway. Oh, well, wait a minute. We think you stole this car. Get your hands on the ground. At the time, I'm only 16 years old. My grandfather had to come out and say, hey. My car.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I've been there before.
Like, oh.
I done had my mama had to save me a few times from the police. My mama just ran up like, that's my baby.
So I tell those stories to let the brother upstairs know, like, hey, listen, we don't tell because of the stuff that already happened to us. We see it. We ain't got to look at TV. It's been done. That's why we don't even tell. What phone? They ain't going to do jack at all.
Shit
I
happened.
got a felony behind me because, okay, here's the thing.
Hold on, Sir Banks. Hold on, bro. I got to stop you there. We don't need that on the live right now. You good. Yeah, you got it.
Let me answer that other one that you was talking about the great. Because I was listening to you the whole entire time, and I was cracking up. I'm not going to lie to you. I was dying. But the thing is, when I say something, I'm not going to lie to you. I have to turn tail. I got to say something there because of what I mean, I would be a hypocrite. I would be a straight hypocrite because it's the only thing I could think of, and the worst thing happened with the Bill Cosby thing. I would be a hypocrite if I didn't say nothing.
Oh, I got what you're saying. You saying to stop it from happening to other people. Yeah. But the thing, it's less likely that they find an SAer than they find a robber, though. It's less likely. Like that's like SAers like never, they almost never get caught. They almost never get caught.
But that was my whole thing with that. I'm like, you waiting 20, 30, 40 years down the road, and it's like, are you serious?
Wait.
Why are you waiting all this time?
Because they were afraid. Because they had to find. If you get graped, wait, Sir Banks, if you get graped, it may take you 40 years to process that shit. Like, let's be for real. Y'all tripping.
No, let's be 100. I'm gonna just say this, and I ain't gonna get all that deep into it. But look, check it out. That was back in the 70s. Yes or no?
It happened in the 80s too, and the 90s.
No, I'm talking about his first time. The first time.
It started in the 70s. It didn't stop to the 90s.
Exactly. So hold on. I'm just going on the 70s part. In the 70s, us, we couldn't let white tea people without something even happening to us or questionable or anything.
What?
In the 70s.
When?
No.
In the 70s?
In the early 70s.
Man, what you talking about?
That the who is the victim rule still reigns true. Yeah. Now we got a black man talking about a black man, but who is the victim? Black women. And I think, well, he say woman, but it was mostly black women. It was that lady that had the hair product. She used to sell weed. That's neither here nor there. Beverly Johnson. Yeah, Beverly Johnson.
Oh, Beverly Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah, Beverly Johnson. Yeah. So now. Yeah. Okay. So now, because we got a black man talking about black women as the victim, he needs to be innocent. So there it is. Go ahead, sir. Have at it, sir.
Here's been that's a piece of
okay. What I'm saying is this: when Angie Dickinson said, and that was the first one, because that's who came out with it first. She said that and she went on record, and she said the reason why she didn't say nothing back then was because of the fact that her manager said that it would mess up her modeling career.
Okay.
Now, my thing is this. My thing is this. She's white tea. He's a black guy. Come on. If she was to say anything, tell me right or wrong.
They wouldn't have believed her.
On his butt right then and there.
They wouldn't have believed her. They wouldn't have believed her.
Hold on now. Wasn't he already hanging out with Hugh Hefner by this
Yeah. He had all the protections. Yeah. He was already protected. When Anita Hill he was already protected.
Think about when this was, when Cosby was at like the peak of his popularity. So this isn't like old school Cosby. This is like
time out. Hold on. Therese, hold on, time out. Sir Banks. When did he just start?
He started in the 70s when he came out with Uptown Saturday Night. That was his first movie with Sidney Poitier. He was just starting
I'm
out.
talking about his comic career.
I was gonna say Bill Cosby was already on. How did you think he got in Uptown on a Saturday night?
He was already a famous comic. So
He was already famous, bro. Yeah, Bill Cosby. Uptown Saturday Night, by the way, I don't give a fuck. That was a great movie. But Bill, you already told you that was one of my favorite films. Great movie. But Bill Cosby a whole piece of shit. I ain't about to sit there and argue with. Even Sidney Poitier weird as fuck too. He problematic too. But neither here nor there. Bill Cosby though, he was already well established. By the time, neither here nor there. Bill Cosby had friends in high places. They wasn't gonna do nothing to him. Like some young up and coming model, no fucking chance. Chris Rock.
Let me tell you why Bill Cosby is guilty. All right?
Because he guilty. Because the nigga did it.
Listen, Bill Cosby is guilty because at the time they didn't think it was wrong.
Oh.
That's why.
Yep.
Because at the time, it was wrong. That is why I know he was guilty. Because he probably knew it was creepy, right? He probably knew it was creepy. But the level of understanding of how wrong it is that we have in present day, they did not have at that time.
Yep.
That also leads to why she would have been less likely
to be believed. Yep.
Because at that time, they would be like, well, why did you go there? Well, why were you in the room? Why did you drink the drink? Well,
a lot of women started telling their stories because of the Me Too movement. And that's why a lot of men hate the Me Too movement. But a lot of women started to tell their stories when they saw basically the power in numbers. They was like, oh, they telling, all right, everybody telling? Cool. And they started telling, right? So when you wonder, why did they wait so long? There was never a window of opportunity for them. They had to wait. They just waited. And it was like, boom, lo and behold, there's this window of opportunity. And then that's when that's how Weinstein got caught. That's how Trump got caught. But that's when his shit started coming up a lot more. That's when Kale shit started coming up a lot more. It was because there was a movement, thank God, there was a movement started in this country that has spread across the globe, by the way. It didn't end in America, right? But it started in America by a Black woman. There was a movement that started in this country where a bunch of women came together and was like, we gonna tell our story. Fuck that. We gonna tell our story. Hella high water. We gonna tell our story. And women started going, oh, y'all telling? The old women, it was young, 30-year-old, 40-year-old women telling their story. Then the women that was 50, 60, 70 years old, they said, oh, everybody telling? Oh, okay, cool. So when you start asking, oh, why did they wait so long? They was waiting till the coast was clear. They didn't know.
Jay Clopped it. He said a lot of men realized that they were rapists too, and that's why they hated it.
Yeah.
A lot of men.
You know what?
Speak on that.
Here's the thing that I feel about that. Here's the thing that I feel about that.
Hold on. Let her finish, sir, man. Go ahead. You got it. You good.
When we start opening up these conversations about coercion and what grape looks like, and marital grape and grape within, relationships, a lot of men started realizing, well, if she's saying that on TV and it's getting this kind of reaction, I kind of did the same thing a week ago. Does that mean I'm a rapist? Yes, that's what it means. The call is coming from inside the house. And a lot of men were realizing that if their stuff was being exposed, if they were to be exposed on that level, or women started saying, well, you know what? I dated Pinhead, and I really don't appreciate the fact that he stuck his hand up on my skirt, and he thought at the time that I liked it, but I only
or he asked me 100 times in a night or whatever the fuck.
Right. Like once you start hearing that that's what this looks like, a lot of men get uncomfortable because they know they are guilty of those things.
Yep.
I also wanted to come up here on some my business because y'all know I don't like y'all. Y'all lazy. 200K. Let's try to get to 200K before 5 o'clock, before Pub head out to get the babies. Y'all can do it because you're tapping in the comments. Y'all lighting the comments up. Y'all interacting with the live. Let's meet that gift goal. He got a tiny dino that he needs. He needs a few of those, as well as
Just gift the live, gift the panel,
Yep.
you know, banging the cash out, all that shit. Like y'all really kind of moving kind of
Like you fuck with us.
It's all right.
Hey, appreciate you, Kate. Let me read these real quick. Dark Oracle said, I wish they would segregate women from men. Damn. For the safety of women, yeah. But for me, nah, I don't like that. Can I call? Can I still talk to some of y'all? Some of y'all my real peoples, man. That's tough. Therese said, you can't leave your home and illegally cross state lines with a weapon with the intent to kill, then claim self-defense. Pinhead is racist and stupid. That's facts. That boy, hey, Therese, that boy set out on a mission to unalive some people that day.
He asked his mom for a ride. It's
Mhm.
probably on the family calendar,
Yep.
pinned on the fridge.
Yep.
This is the day I'm going to drive little Kyle
Yep.
across state lines with an assault weapon to unalive some BLK people.
Yep.
It sounds like a fun family event for them.
Some N-word lovers. We're gonna get them N-word lovers.
Oh my gosh. Unbelievable.
Hey, you know how much of a weirdo you gotta be to drive across state lines and be on some like, nope, they didn't go there to protect people, by the way. He went there to protect the property. You know how fucking sick you gotta be in the head to be willing to harm people over property? I ain't gonna even hold you. I done told y'all.
A place you don't live.
And not in a place you don't live. It ain't like your neighborhood. Then I would understand more. But like, no, you like to somebody else. Like, what the fuck?
You don't have title to in a state you don't live in.
A Target, a corporation, $1 billion corporation. Y'all sick,
bro.
Y'all sick. You sick in your head, bro. You sick in your head. You defending that shit? Something off. That's crazy. Defending property.
Yeah, Yellow. Your point about who the victim is matters and who the perpetrator is matters. My answer to the question that was put to public, whether or not you would come forward, depends entirely on who assaulted me.
100%.
Entirely.
Mhm.
That's what I said. Yeah. Like I think that's an important point you brought up because like when you think about it, you're like, okay, if it was someone you work with, okay, who was it? What level were they? Am I one of their direct reports? Are they in the same department than me? There's so many questions. And in most cases, if it were work, probably not, unless they were at my level or below.
Is that a woman to man thing or just a you thing?
Bruh. That shit
I don't care.
I know it's difficult for you, Pinhead, but just shut, can't talk and listen at the same time, sir. Can't.
That's crazy.
Just listen. It is for everybody. Who assaulted them is an essential part of the analysis because who assaulted you is going to depend on what your level, who's going to believe you.
Hey, what if you get assaulted?
Status.
Oh,
yeah.
Go ahead, Therese.
The status of that person.
Hold on, wait,
oh my God, I'm still.
My bad, Therese. I'll interrupt you. My fault.
No, not you.
Yeah, I know. My bad. Go ahead. You.
Who the person who the perpetrator is going to depend on whether or not you're believed, and not just by your community. It's going to whether the cops believe you.
Therese, wait. Hold on. Wait. Because that's what I was going to ask you. If the police do it to you.
You're screwed. Like, who's the hell's gonna help you then?
Because we know they be assaulting. So
cops, law enforcement, military, they have among some of the highest violence against women's rates of any like profession. There are more wife beaters in like the LAPD than there are in like the NFL and NBA combined.
Per capita, it's not even close. Not even close.
Not even close. So like if your husband is in law enforcement and he grapes you repeatedly? Like zero chance of ever getting prosecuted. So probably most women don't come forward if their rapist is a cop, is someone in the military, because that's a whole complicated legal thing. Who has jurisdiction? Is it the JAG court or the regular court?
Your superior raped you in the military?
Exactly.
You're not telling nobody.
No way.
You're not telling nobody.
It happens so much. All the time.
I don't care what I don't care. Y'all can come up here and tell me you the strongest motherfucker in the world. I'll do all to me. If that motherfucker grape you, if the sergeant grape, you not saying shit. You gonna take that shit to the grave with you. Stop it.
And anyone at my company above my level, absolutely not. And also has to do with the company you work at. If you work for a famous company, as I do, that shit's gonna be all over the internet in a matter of moments.
Oh, they're gonna destroy you.
Me, yeah, they would destroy you.
You're gonna get destroyed.
You're telling why someone would either wait to come forward or not come forward at all. There's no win in it for the victim.
It's so easy to understand why people don't come forward.
Accusing someone of SA, there's no upside for
none.
The victim.
Even if you win, you lose. Even if you win, you lose.
Other than, like, making the point of, if I don't come forward and no one comes forward, no one will get justice. The only sliver of hope is that maybe 25 years later, some woman might get justice.
Maybe.
Other than that, there's literally no upside.
There's no upside. I'm telling you, I don't. Look.
And if you're talking about public as a black man in the scenario, you became the victim, but whatever.
It's all good.
Here we are.
I definitely ain't. That's what. The more we talk about it, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I ain't telling.
The scenario that you also have no choice with it, no chance with, is a rich Wahite, publicly straight man.
Nah, no chance.
If he is publicly straight,
no chance.
Meaning he's got a wife and kids, there's pictures of him on vacation, he done help the community. You know what I'm saying? He gives out turkey on Thanksgiving.
Hey, what's that yellow chick? What's that white man? Kevin Spacey.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey is a known homosexual man, and I think it's like I believe everything that his victim said that he, you know what I'm saying, like 100%. That's this man is still making videos, talking about you. I forgot what he said in the last video, but he basically on some like, nigga, you know what it was. Like what? This man is still, I'm saying he is still openly able to traumatize his victim in public with little to no repercussions. Like little to like no, they just letting it rock out. I saw it on the syndicate. They shared it on the syndication somewhere, public syndication somewhere. I'm like, this is crazy. So imagine being the victim. Like, I don't want to, I'm good. I'm sorry. That's just something I'm going to have to unalive with. Let Puzzle go real quick. Puzzle the piece was good with you, man.
Was good.
Chilling. We listening.
What we talking about, man?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about? You can address whatever you want to address.
Yeah, I'm just, But shit, I say, man. All right, so I want to speak on that robbery situation y'all was talking about.
Which one?
The robbery.
Okay, go ahead.
How y'all getting robbed with no pistol on you?
What?
You said you got robbed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say you got robbed?
I got robbed twice. Yeah.
You thought you didn't you?
Hold on, wait. I want to hear the point. I missed it. What's going on?
I was just wondering, like, why you ain't scrapped up?
Because I live in California. I'm not riding around with no. And you know what was funny? We was in the car and we went to go sell the homie. We just went with the homie. It was four of us. We went to go sell some pews to somebody. That's where we went. And then they pulled up on us and robbed us. They took the pews and pulled about the car. Took the car. I'm surprised they didn't take the car, but they took the pew. That was smart actually, because they would have got caught. They ended up actually getting caught. My homie, but not by the police. The homie who got robbed, he was crazy, and he found him, and through word of mouth, and he ended up doing whatever to him. But yeah. So what's the point? That's what you wanted to come up here and ask me?
No, but that's why I had joined, because y'all was on that subject, but it just led to something else.
Even dudes with pews get robbed though. Just so we clear, even niggas with straps get robbed, brother.
Nah.
Yeah, happens all the time.
They either get robbed or unalive. Which one's better?
If you have a pew on you, the likelihood that you will be unalive goes up, not down. Just so you know, the likelihood that you get unalived if you have a pew on yourself and you get robbed, the likelihood that you get unalived in that scenario goes up, not down. So you not having a gun actually is safer for you in that instance, because if somebody get the drop on you, they get the drop on you. But if you get to fidgeting, or if you get to making any weird movements and then they see you, you could not even be reaching for your shit. You could just literally be, I'm getting my wallet. You could da-da-da-da-da. You got the drop on me. As soon as they see that strap,
I was just asking like this because I was hearing what I was hearing. I ain't coming up with the comments talking about like.
But that's because when people get robbed, it's usually a surprise.
Boom, pow, surprise.
Speaking, yes.
They get the drop on you, sir.
It's a surprise. So that
was hilarious.
Even if you have something on, even if you got your thing on you, if you will, you'll probably still end up harmed and or successfully robbed because you don't know that you're going to get robbed. Why it is y'all believe that y'all can be like Clint Eastwood, and when somebody tap you on the shoulder, immediately like you gonna know to turn around and like, you know, draw. Like, I don't know why y'all think that's a thing, but it's not. You have something on.
Can I ask you a question, Puzzle? How often do you practice drawing your weapon? Like, how many hours a week do you practice it?
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah, ain't nothing to brag, but I was just.
No. I'm asking you. You literally practice every day drawing your weapon, like as fast as you can. You do like that training. You got that quick twitch.
I stay in there.
I thought everyone thinks they're the winter soldier in this.
I swear to God, I do not want to be. Hey man, I'm the easiest person to rob. You can. When I tell you, you got it. Puzzle. When I tell you, you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Somebody run up on me. You ain't even got to show me the weapon. You got it. You want the phone? Here you go. Well, I don't give a fuck. But you know what though? When I was younger, and I was, you know what I'm saying, I was struggling, I maybe, you know, and I actually was dumber too. Maybe I would have fought. Maybe. I don't know. But
hold on a minute. But you guys might know this. Do most robbers actually carry pew-pews? So there's quite a few.
When they run up on you to rob you, most of them have weapons. Yeah.
Well, I'm just on the outside looking in. I ain't know you.
Most people ain't strong arming you. Like, I mean, they make, you know what though? No. You know what? That's why they be robbing old ladies and shit.
I guess I'm thinking of like the UK. What about knives and stuff? You don't need to have.
You can run up on it with a knife, yeah. You don't need to have a pew-pew. You run up on me with a knife. They don't even got to be sharp.
They like young niggas. I'm 30.
You got it. I'm not even tripping. There is nothing that I own. There is no. Hold on, Puzzle. Hold on, brother. There is nothing that I own. There is no material that I can think of that is worth even getting hurt. Not even getting unalive. Just like even fighting over. I can't even imagine it. People I'll fight over all day long. I'll fight over ideals. I'll fight over people. But I refuse to fight over a car, a phone, a watch, a wallet, some money. You got it. You got it. I'm replacing that shit tomorrow. That's when you look, you steal my shit. That's just gonna give me a reason to buy some more shit. I like buying shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I like shopping.
Yeah, on it, but the reputation, man.
What reputation? I'm a grown ass man.
Exactly.
Does reputation go down if you get robbed? What?
Who am I? Nigga, I ain't in no gang.
I'm just asking.
He talking about this. He acting like this motherfucking San Andreas.
Because that is what you're listening to what he's saying, but you're not listening to what he's saying. Because he said a few things that stand out to me. He said that he practices drawing his weapon a lot. He said that he got a reputation he got to uphold. I don't know if y'all know what the blueprint is.
He a YN, but he 30.
But the letter of the day, based on said and he
a YN. Hey, he a 30-year-old YN. My nigga, you done. God damn.
With my coworker.
Hey, I ain't met one of you niggas in the wild in a minute.
As not being robbed, actually not. Long time. When you have co-workers, doctor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your circle is different. In the parent group, nobody's going to look at you at the PTA meeting and go, man, get him out of here. He got
robbed. Ain't nobody listening to you.
We don't want no brownies. We don't want no cookies.
Boo that man.
To the side. We don't want to see you.
I'm worried about this. What everybody else.
You know where that comes?
Who is everybody else, sir?
Y'all saying about PTA meetings and all that. It ain't about it. It's about me.
No. I'm asking you. Hold on, wait. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Who are you worried? Who are you worried about, Puzzle? Who are you worried about?
Just talking about a woman getting raped.
Hold on, Puzzle. Puzzle.
Language.
Hold on, puzzle. Hold on, brother. Who are you worried about judging you? Just out of curiosity. I'm very interested. Who are you concerned about judging you?
No one. I only said that because of what you guys are saying. Y'all making it seem like I'm worried about someone, but I'm not. I'm only worried about
literally said that moments ago.
What about your reputation? You did.
Yes. What about your reputation? His question is, with whom?
Yeah, I'm curious.
This me and myself personally.
That's not a reputation, bro.
That's not how reputation works.
It's just like when y'all was talking about people waiting 25 years later to speak up about them being GRAPE. It's the same thing. They got robbed. But now 25 years later, they want to speak up.
Comparing a robbery to a graping is wild. Like, it's really mind blow. It like blows my mind that y'all are comparing graping to robberies.
It's not comparing. It's a situation of being what's done to that person and how they feel.
Wait a minute. This been off that bean. I ain't gonna hold you.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Oh my God. Ruby Payne, man. Ruby Payne said, men like the guy talking always have an exception. They don't know about how it happens and don't care. It's a feature, not a bug in patriarchy. Damn. Cry said, bro out here preparing for a 17th century duel. Oh man. Hey, I gotta go, y'all. I it was about to keep going, but I got to get on. I gotta go pick up my baby for real, man. Shout out to the tappers, yappers, and super chatters. Shout out to everybody that shared the live. Shout out to the all the old subs and the new subs. Shout out to the best minds in the business, man. Everybody that joined the panel. Come back tomorrow, man. Haters, come back tomorrow. We need you. We love you. We enjoy your company. You are somebody. As one Jesse Jackson said, you are somebody. Okay? He said, I am somebody. You repeat it, though, to yourself, okay? Say, I am somebody. All right? I gotta go get this baby, though. No AYA no more. He don't get to go after school programs, so I got to be there right on time. Right on time.